Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy Jack and Brian Daigle on the fan show tonight. Brian Daigle, yet again, putting in a very good shift in today. I swear, he's like the Ollie Skip because he's done it for me before. I came on as a late minute sub for him, almost Harry Wink style, only for like the last two guests as well. Almost people probably were kind of dreading it, to be fair. But Brian Daigle, really glad to have you here. How you doing, my man? We're gonna have a lot of guests, planned tonight. We're gonna hopefully get through them all pretty swiftly, but I'm sure they're gonna have lots to say. There's plenty of transfer things to discuss. Just plenty of things regarding this sort of bright future that I guess is hopefully on the horizon for Tottenham Hotspur. But football wise, life wise, however you want to answer it, Brian, how you doing, my man?
I'll give you a bit of both. First of all, it's good to spend some time with you, Jack. It's been a minute. Second, I'm fantastic. The weather is scorchingly hot here in Toronto at the moment. It's 29 degrees. Brad Matthews has just literally left me after spending a week on his Jets set lifestyle off to Australia to see his mum for the first time since COVID. I'm flying back home on Thursday. Life is good and it's optimistic and the future's looking quite bright at Tottenham Hotspur. We'll wait and see, but the outlook and everything we're hearing is night and day compared to what we're normally hearing this time of year. So long may that continue.
Yeah, long may that continue. And you could say off to the right start, but I mean, only just got started and there's still plenty more to go. But let's give a bit of a greeting to the Harris Army. Already 158 in the house. I'm sure maybe Matty Hayes was just live or something like that. And everybody's just piling on over here. Really appreciate everybody that's already in here. While you're in here, everybody, do hit that like button. Do also as well hit that sub button if you are new. It's a big red button down below. Welcome to smash it. Welcome to just kindly touch it as well. However you can get the subscribe done, feel free to do so. Grab that membership as well. There is that big join button next to it. There's already just a plenty big line for the member show tonight. So I would say grab it now if you like, and then maybe for the next time so you can get in nice and early. So do grab that membership. It is also a great way to support the channel. But we are going to greet a bit of the Harris Army. And then we do have a really important stream that we're going to plug tomorrow. And then we're going to get into it. But Lightwork in the house saying Tottenham have to get Brennan Johnston from Nottingham Forest. I said it before. His something special is one championship, best young player of the season. Who knows? He might cost $5 million. Haven't heard of him, to be fair, Brendan Johnson. This is kind of when Dave comes in handy because he does have a good English pyramid knowledge. Brian Daigle, any Nottingham Forest knowledge there?
I won't go as far as knowledge. I've heard ripples about this kid and this guy, should I say, and he's meant to be a great player. But I have to say, Nottingham Forest is not a team I'd kept my eyes on. They're a team close to mine and Bob's heart because of the '91 FA Cup final we always talk about. It's one of my first away days that I went to. But yeah, I don't know enough about him to say, yeah, we have to get him. But if Lightwork says so, let's add him to Conte's list.
Let's add him to Conte's list. Exactly. Big up, Lightwork. Good to have you. Ian Harding saying Bastoni Wikipedia page. I've seen it. I have seen it. It is quite crazy. I'm not sure what to make of it. Some people have told me it's the here we go, via Wikipedia. Daniel, our very, very wise fan who is going to be on later, just telling us, and reminding us pretty much anybody can edit anything on Wikipedia. So maybe a bit of a troll by a Tottenham fan. But big up, Ian. Tempest Fugit saying, beware the trolls are out there. I'm sure they are. Big up, Tempest. Good to see you, though. Mick, good to see you, Mick. Really appreciate you tuning in all the time as well, Mick, and showing so much support to all the channels. Lee from the lane saying, hope the trolls are ready. I guess something's been happening, but I think we are well ready. And I think we do have the subscriber-only mode as well. So maybe that might help out a bit. But big up, Lee. Big up, Tyler, as well. Hope you're keeping well, my man. Welsh gal in the house saying, evening, David and Jack. You lads are stars. Big up to all the lovely members of the community. Welsh gal, we appreciate you. And I love that badge beside the name. And any day, Welsh gal, you feel like hopping in to get your thoughts, especially if you feel like you're a bit more comfortable with that IPA that I know you like to enjoy alongside these fan shows. Welsh gal, feel free, but it is a long line. But next time, Welsh gal, do hit that link, Welsh gal. We do want to talk to you, but good to see you. Ricky Nato saying, big up, brothers. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Ricky. Good to see you. Dan Ansand went on holiday this weekend and come back to a new signing. No better feeling. I still want Kostas Chu. Can Perisic play right wing back? Yeah, Dan, I'm kind of, I mean, believe me, Love to see a niche being brought into the team, especially one like Perisic that I've grown up with. But I'm still kind of a bit hungry for that Kostic kind of signing as well. To be fair, I was, very, very content on getting that guy. But with Perisic, he could probably play right wing back and left wing back. He could play left wing. He could play striker. He could almost play virtually anywhere. The guy has played almost everywhere in his entire career. So there you are, Dan. Big up, my
I
man.
have
Good
to
to
say
see
with
you.
that one, Jack. First of all, I forgot about your obsession with itches, so you must be in heaven right now.
With that, with the amount that we're being linked with, I mean, I wish they were all wearing the shirt. To be fair,
The only other thing I'll say on that is, at least if he does play right back, from what I'm heard, it's going to be better than saying, right, let's put Sessegnon at right back, who is a left back he's nothing else. At least with Perisic, there's the option that he can play that role well. So it's not like we're just putting a left back to fill in at right back just for the sake of it, like we were doing with Matt Doherty. I believe he's a lot stronger on the left, and that is his natural position. But to have that extra option of being able to play on the right, as opposed to just being put there, is going to be a big difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Elias in the private chat even saying we're getting a bit itchy for all the itches that, we're being rumored with. I am personally. Aiden Doherty, good to see him. I say I'm back in the building playing some FIFA career mode, watching this amazing stream. That's exactly what I do, Aiden, whenever I tune into a lot of Spurs streams. Just turn on the FIFA, put on, this stuff, while you're watching, especially when you're getting through like the annoying training sessions and stuff like that in FIFA. You can just kind of, look down, see what everybody's talking about. Big up, Aiden, my man. Really appreciate you tuning in regardless, my man. Neil Hartley saying transfers are like Christmas presents. Some gifts are not what you wanted, but end up being the most used. Absolutely, Neil. And to be fair, I think we're getting the best kind of Christmas presents so far, getting exactly maybe what a lot of people wanted, I would say. But I will say I'm being a bit spoiled here, Neil, and I still want my Kostic. So hopefully it can be provided via a present. Big yourself up, though. Tequila in the house. Big up, Tequila. Hopefully you're not playing that game where, you're taking the shooters every time, we say the big up, because I would say it's only a Monday, my man. It's only a Monday. But big up, Tequila. Andreas, good to see you, my man. Also in the house. Zoe, always good to see you. Zoe saying pick up Jack, David, and all the Harris Army. Zoe, always in the Harris Army, always in the house as well. Good to see you, Zoe. Adrian Shroka, good evening, guys. Good to see you, Adrian. Hopefully you can tune in for at least, honestly, Adrian, love to see you in the chat, my man. Love to see you in the chat, however long you're tuning in, but good to see you, my man. Blue Eyes, always been in here recently, especially. Good to see you. I think we also have the hottest Spurs saying, my eyes have seen the glory of the cups at White Hart Lane. Hopefully they're going to witness it again, the hottest Spur. Hopefully they'll witness it again, especially this upcoming season. But big up the hottest Spur. And also look at that beautiful badge beside the name. Felipe Sergio San Antonio. And then Rob Coyne with the super chat saying, big up, still on the sauce if that Italian center half does want to come. I'm all set. If he's 50 million, I'll keep if he's 50 million, I'll keep Ben Davies. And as for Eriksen, I want new blood. That's kind of an interesting take. I'm kind of with Eriksen, the fact that it's a free transfer, the fact that he is in really good form, I've kind of changed my mind on him, because originally I said I didn't want him either. But I would say the good form, the fact that he looks a bit hungry, I'd say you kind of take him. It's not like he's going to cost you very much either. But to be fair, I've said this before, there's a plethora and like a big surplus of creative midfielders out there. So that's kind of why I just said I don't have a dying urge to get Eriksen, just because I think there's a lot out there for us. But I see what you mean, my man. In terms of Bastoni, I mean, 50 million is the first kind of bid that we sent. I imagine we'll go higher than that. Originally, he was going to cost us a lot more than that. He was going to cost us around 70 million originally, but now he's going for only around 51 million. So we'll see, my man. I still want to keep Ben Davies. Like I said, unsung hero of the season. But any quick thoughts on this here, Brian, from Rob?
Yeah, I mean, Bastoni is a must-have, and the thing that obviously a lot of people have been reaching out to me about the whole Levy and money for obvious reasons. The one thing I will say, obviously, Perisic and Fraser Forster, good moves, great moves. If we get Bastoni over the line and get it quick, one with substantial money, then it's like, oh, hello.
That's the statement.
This is like, okay, you're doing this. You are. But when it comes to Eriksen, I do not want him back. I do not want it. Listen, I'm very, very happy for him. He has been sensational. and I wish him nothing but health and happiness, especially after what he went through. But I'm tired of this. Keep going back for the same player. He may do well under Conte, but I'd rather us find with this new money a younger player that can stay with us for a longer time than just get Eriksen in because of the sake of Christian Eriksen. So listen, if he comes in, I understand why. And it will be good to see him if we get the original Eriksen or the Eriksen we've been seeing at Brentford. But I am with Rob on this. I think there's better out there, and I hate this going back.
Yeah, replacing Eriksen with Eriksen, as
Exactly.
everybody's always said.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a bit laughable at times. But big up, Rob. Great super chat, my man, and great comment. And really appreciate support. And it's good to have you in the building as well. Big up, Rob. Dom J saying Perisic. He's already excited. Good to see you, Dom. We also have Danny Kiriakou. Hopefully, we're going to be speaking to him later. And Scott Heinem, Badrul Mazid, just because we have so many in line, I do want to get it going. And we also have a very important message to send. Adrian Troca, good to see you again, my man. Catman Jess, sorry for skipping. I know you put in a legend down. I know he put in a comment down there by saying Brian Daigle, the legend. Big up, Catman Jess. Good to see you. Good to see you. J. Co. saying, give Daigle a raise. He deserves a raise in every single fashion. Probably deserves a raise and a stipend from every single channel, maybe. But I think one day, maybe when one of us hits the lottery, perhaps, he'll come, maybe humbly, just saying, by the way, I did put in a 4-hour stint for you, the other day. When we win the lottery, Jay, when we win it.
$1 million super chat. How about that? When I win the lottery.
Big up, Jay. Really appreciate you recognizing the work that he's putting in, especially tonight. Daniel Anderson, Dave, he's just helping out the Outlad, everybody, with kind of remodeling the kitchen. And honestly, he's done this on a few different occasions, helping out the Outlad. And I must say, he's hopefully going for Son of the Year award maybe sometime soon. Whenever that's being given, he definitely is in contention for it, because he's done this time and time again, helping out the Outlad with whatever he needs.
Sorry, Jack, just a quick one. I can see in the chat, Ellie has put, the link has crashed. Can you resend it? So I don't know.
Yeah, I'll send it over to Ellie. No problem, Ellie. No problem. You're on first anyway, Ellie, so absolutely no problem. But big up, Daniel. There's the explanation, my man. Natine saying Bastoni to Spurs update. I think it's the same thing that Matt Hayes has said. By the way, I think it's just the fact that personal terms have been agreed. There is some conflicting sort of news, regarding the fact that some people are saying maybe he doesn't want to come to Spurs. But I don't know. Like, I think it's whichever one you want to believe. Either he's agreed personal terms or he doesn't want to come to Spurs, because it can't be both. It can't be both. So big up, Nitin, though. Good to see you in. We do have Frangnu as well, or Frangu. I do like the name. Mary W saying Daigle and Jack. Love you guys. Mary W. Been in here forever. Good to see you, Mary. Russ Vernon, good to see you as well. Bob Spur in the house saying, finally, brains, intelligence, beauty, articulate discussions on a stream. And then Brian as well.
So happy
any of those things you feel like, any of those things you would probably, I feel like beauty, articulate discussions, I feel like you can give yourself that, maybe the brains.
I wouldn't go for beauty. I'd shut the beauty out. I'm no masterpiece or oil painting, that's for damn sure. Articulate,
It's like a kinnick answer me. Which three of those would you take?
Intelligence, definitely not. As Meatloaf said, 1 out of 4 ain't bad.
That's what he'll sign. He'll sign brains, he'll sign intelligence, and he'll sign articulate for himself there, Bob. Good to see you, my man. And we have a very, very special plug for a very special stream tomorrow, my man. Good to see you in the house, though. Jason Bell saying, big up, Jack and Brian. Good to see you, Jason. Always in here. Just making sure I'm not missing anybody. King Hoddle, of course, always in. Still call saying, big up, Jack and Tagle. Good to see you, JC. Good to see you, to Bottom Duda. Big up, Jack and Brian. And to Bottom Duda, I do have that very special question in an email, especially for some people that can handle that very tough question, I must say. Ben Kaufman as well saying, na, 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 Catman. Big up, Ben Kaufman. Daryl Bradford, good to see you. Just making sure I'm not missing anybody. Matt C, of course. Oliver Narba. Wow, so many in the house. 286 as well. I'm sorry, everybody. I am trying my best here. Vikas, Alex, of course. Sue Smith, the diamond, as Brian would like to say as well. There you go. There you go. And then Peter Spillane, and then Ellie. I did resend you the link. Everybody, there you are. We tried to get through everybody as best we can, as we always try to do. While you're in here, do smash that like button, do hit that subscribe if you are new to the channel. Grab that membership to show support for the channel, as well as maybe to try to get on the fan show. We do have a very long line tonight, but it'd also be a good way to get in early for the next fan show next Monday, everybody. But we do actually right now, everybody, have a very special stream and a very special sort of message that we do want to send from somebody that is very close to us on this channel. Brian, they're not going to see you, but we do have this on screen while I am going to be plugging the link here. So Bob Spurs stream tomorrow.
Yeah, so obviously we all know the story of what happened to my best mate, Superman, over Christmas and over the beginning part of the year. Unfortunately, COVID and pneumonia had us very, very worried with a beloved, the crown jewel in the Spurs community. And he wants to show his appreciation to the NHS and, more importantly, the hospital that he was in for a majority of the time. He was actually in two, but it's for the main one in Harlow. So tomorrow from 9 a.m. UK time, which is 4. Oh, sugar! I've got to change my alarm to even earlier. I put it for 5. Okay, so which is 4 a.m. UK time, Canadian time, and Eastern. Bob will be going 24 hours to raise money, and you can see the donations part of his PayPal. So YouTube don't take the 30%. He has loads of stuff lined up, or he may do, and it may be Bob and just winging it. But there are people from the hospital that saved his life coming on. There may be a couple of players, maybe, and other things that Bob's got going on. And we all know how much Bob means to this community and how pivotal he is to it. So 9 a.m., which is 4 a.m. for me. I need to set my alarm for 10 to 4 because I'm going to be doing most of it with him. Watch Bob Spurs stream 24 hours, as much as you can. It's all going to be for a great cause. And he hopes you enjoy the stream. And yeah, that's going to be going 24 hours. And I need to set my alarm right now for an hour earlier. Jesus Christ.
There you are.
And this is it. He winds me up. He says jokes, brains, beauty, blah, blah, blah. Here's me setting an alarm for 10 to 4 in the morning.
I told you it was beauty. I told you it was beauty. You know, you lied to yourself. I told you it was beauty. But everybody, we put in the link like more than a few times. So, I mean, just go over there now, hit that like button. I mean, there's just no excuse. It's put in the link. We're put in the chat so many times. Hit that link, go over, hit that link, hit that like button, and then come back over here. But it is starting very, very soon tomorrow, everybody. So
set a reminder.
Over there. Set a reminder for the stream, save to watch later, all that sort of jazz. And also as well, hit that like button while you're already there, because I want to see, 300 people in the house right now, want to see at least 100 likes, maybe by the end of this evening over on that stream before it even starts. But big up everybody, because I'm sure you guys are already going to be doing that right now as we speak. Before we get started, John Stokes saying Villarreal have reached a full agreement for the permanent signing of Giovanni Lo Celso for a fee of 18 million euros plus 6 million euro of bonuses, a total of 24 to 25 million euros. I think we were asking for around 20 million euros originally. I'm actually quite stoked because I was never really a big fan of Gio. If I'm going to be honest, Brian, didn't really rate him to be fair. I couldn't really decide, like, is he like a number 10? Is he a number 8? Is he a right winger? Can he even score? These sort of questions. And then on top of that, it felt like he didn't even want to play for Spurs, as well. Like he didn't seem to be, asked, to really put himself forward, to step up for us, apart from the first 3 months when he came in. He didn't exactly, wow us after that. So I'm actually quite happy to see him go. And I think, as much as maybe we did take a loss, 24 to 25 million or 18 million, I'm happy with that. I'm glad that we're getting rid of him at least.
Well, do you know what? I mean, I'm not really bothered whether he stays or go. Yeah. What I am, and it's another huge sign of intent, and as possible to use that word, that we are ready and things may be changing, because this is a huge hit. This is a huge financial hit on what we laid out for him. And if we're able to do this, it will show that Paratici and Conte are controlling this, not trying to get stupid money, not trying to price it out. So if he's going for that cheap, and remember, I think we signed him for around £48 million or around that kind of figure. To take a £20 million hit is huge in the way we run. So it's a big sign. It's a big sign of intent.
Huge sign of intent. Huge sign of intent. Danny, if you're listening, in order to bring Ellie on, I have to kick you out. And I figured if anybody, I would kick out the bun man because I think he would
Oh, is
understand.
the bun coming on?
Yeah, he is coming on, but he is also, I think, pretty far in line. So I think, might kick him out. And I think he would understand more than anybody, or at least he'd be the easiest to apologize to. Think of anybody. But Ellie, if you're able to come in, let me know. If you are able to come in, let me see. We do have Ellie in there. Good. But John, really appreciate support, my man. And I must say, I'm actually quite happy to see the back of Gio. I know most people maybe are pretty big fans of Gio, but I just never really rated him in the first place. That's just me. And then he says, Ivan Perisic, new Spurs player. Here we go. Confirmed. Like we said, the medical was being done, I think, today or tomorrow. He's already in London. He's enjoying his time. He's an itch, and he is ours. I'm happy, John. I think you're happy as well. Really appreciate support. But let's get the first guest on. Ellie. How we doing, Ellie?
Yeah, I had a bit of problem trying to get on there. I don't know what
think,
happened.
Ellie, there's so many people that want to come on today that I actually forgot that, it fills up and, there were already, there was no more space. So I had to kick off, Danny, our beloved bun man in order to bring you on.
Sorry, Danny.
How are you keeping though otherwise? And there's plenty to talk about. And it's a big kind of transfer stream, Ellie. And maybe the first bit of news is that we brought in that 33-year-old Perisic, who I would say just completed a big season of something I think he played 40 games or something, in all competitions last season. So are you excited to see Perisic come in?
Yeah, very excited because he's a quality player. He's got goals in him. He's got assists in him. What more can you want out of a player? And he's got the fitness as well because he looks after himself. You can tell the lad. He's 6 foot tall, lean and mean. Bring him in straight away.
But you know what? I can mention something because someone has just said I can say it on here. I'm not going to say their name, but I have had something brought to me. And this guy I trust very, very much. They said everything is ready between Perisic and Tottenham, including medical tests. No issue or problems today in London. 2-year deal sealed since Saturday. Official announcement pending. It's a matter of time. Even Perisic is a new Spurs player.
Wow.
Yes.
So
give him
I'm
the
not going to say who sent that to me, but it's a done thing. Even Perisic is a Tottenham Hotspur player.
That's right. And Brian, you could be down there at Hotspur Way to give him his shirt.
Maybe I could be the welcoming committee. That'd be a different twist on things, wouldn't it?
Course.
That'd be nice. We need some sort of representation there, for the welcoming committee, especially for a niche, to come into the team. But Ellie, what does the Perisic, signing tell you? Does it tell you that it's like a Conte signing, that this is Conte's man, it's not Levy or, Paratici's, signing, it's like Conte signing?
I agree with that because he works with him. He won the league title with him, so he trusts him. He knows the player, he knows his quality, and he knows he's going to bring a lot of assists from that left side, and he can play on the right side as well. So he's versatile, and he's a very experienced player. Conte wants players ready. He doesn't want the youngsters coming in. He's never really played youngsters. So he's tried and tested, isn't he? So, I'm sure he's gonna hit the ground flying, Perisic, and we're gonna fall in love with another player from Inter Milan.
Absolutely. Can hopefully get another big player from Inter Milan. Absolutely, Ali. I just realized I just accidentally missed, a few different super chats, and I'm just going to get to them quickly. Wolf saying, great guest. Host is not bad either. Wolf seems to like you.
I like that, yeah. Love him a kiss as well.
Big up, Wolves. Really appreciate support. I'll try my best tonight. I'll try my best, but definitely have the best sort of support
great, Jack.
in the form of Brian Daigle, and also have the best first guest on in the form of Ellie, especially. But big up, Wolves. Really appreciate it. Moondog saying good evening, Jack and Brian. Big up, Moondog. Really appreciate support. I have the flat cap coaster there, and then the Hoiberg right here, my man. As you always know, I did that backwards, so I do apologize. Let me do that.
I'm so jealous.
Moondog. Ellie, we'll get you a copy. We'll get you a copy.
Yeah.
John Stokes, and then also really appreciate it. He's saying evening, Jack and Brian. Big up, Dave. Come on.
Yeah, I have to say very quickly because I had to rechange my alarm again. I told the time wrong. Apparently, 10 a.m., which is 5 a.m. So my alarm was right. 10 a.m.
We'll have another plug that will get it right the next time. We'll get
10 a.m.
we'll get
10 a.m. 10 a.m.
Second
10
time's
a.m.
the charm. Second time's the charm. We promise, Bob. We promise, Bob. But really appreciate support, all of you. But Ellie, sorry about that. I just realized I missed those.
No worries.
While I was scrolling back. But maybe moving on to that Bastoni signing that I think you were talking about, another Inter player there. What do you think that means? Like, could he be the big statement signing? Would that be something that you'd be happy to see? Is that like the big deal sort of signing?
Oh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they get that one over the line. But if they don't, for some reason, I'm going to be very, very upset because he's a fantastic player and he'll forge a great partnership. Like the last partnership we had was Toby and Jan. Fantastic partnership. These two boys, they're coming in at a similar age as Jan and maybe Toby was a little bit older, but still, we've got years of them to look forward to. Both fantastic athletes, brilliant defenders, and they come from a league that is tough. They're not coming from the Portuguese or the French league. They're coming from the Italian league, which is just as good as our league. So, I'm looking forward to getting this one over the line. But if we don't, like I said prior to coming on, I like that Gavardal as well. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
the
Gvardiol.
Serbian boy. Yeah, he's a very tough cookie, and he knows how to tackle as well.
Well, the thing is, Eddie, as well, if Bastoni comes in with Perisic, hopefully two players coming in from the same team where they've known each other for ages will make it easier to settle, just like Spence and Kulu.
Yes,
hopefully having the two there makes it a bit easier to settle. I mean, they've played, like you said, they've played with each other the entire time. It could only be beneficial, can't it?
Yeah, it is. And you need things like that at club. You need teamwork. You need players that know each other inside out and they trust one another. And it creates for a better team environment in the whole, because you don't want to have too many cliques like before, where there was quite some toxic cliques as well at the club. We've got all rid of them now. Now we're going to bring in fresh players under Conte's regime. And it's very exciting, lads. I'm very excited to see what's going to be cooking.
You mentioned the fact that, he's going after the Serie A players that he knows, Ellie. And Jed Spence, we just saw, play, a decent display, but we know he had a really good season. What I am kind of interested in is that sort of like a signing that you see happening? Because it's not like someone that Conte is probably really familiar with, Jed Spence.
I don't think that one's going to happen personally, because I don't think Conte would trust a guy who's come from the Championship.
Not his
style.
All right,
they've got promoted. It's not his style. He wants tried and tested, doesn't he? He wants players that are ready now. Because, he's only got the whole of the season next season. I'm not sure if they've extended his contract or if they've offered him a new 2-year extension. That's sort of what they've been saying around here and there on Twitter and things like that, but nothing concrete yet. So I think he wants to do a one-hit wonder and then he will sign again. Yeah. If he does really well in the Champions League and wins us a title, I'll take that. And we're more than capable. We're more than capable of winning the title. We've got Kane and Sonny. If we get the creative midfielder in that I said as well, like everybody's against Eriksen, but he'll be a good backup, and then get a tried and tested midfielder, because Perisic can play that role anyway. He's
but Ellie, question for you: do you think Eriksen is coming in as a backup? He won't settle for that. If Eriksen comes, he's going to say, "I come as first team."
Good question.
You know what? Because when he was at Inter, he hardly got a game early on.
Yeah.
And then he started creeping into the games. I think he played about 17, 18 games for Conte, maybe 20 at the
But
most.
it wasn't easy for him right away.
It wasn't easy for him to crack into the team. So I'm not sure where mentally Eriksen's at the moment. It depends. Because if he feels that he's top dog still, he wouldn't settle for being on the bench. But if he feels like, yeah, I'll go to Spurs and I'll get a game, if I prove myself, I might get a regular spot, you know. He might have that, because he's a character that's very likeable, Eriksen. And I've seen a lot of things in the chat about him being disloyal and that. But sometimes in football, you've got to forgive and forget. That's my own personal thing. Because if he benefits our side and we win the league, because he's a creator, we need creation from the midfield. Because Højbjerg and Bentancur, they're not creators, you see. So
No, you're right there.
No, they're more, they're more hardworking, sort of deep lying kind of,
yes.
Yeah, playmakers for us. And I think you're right, Ellie. Last sort of question.
We can switch it up in between the games, like give Eriksen a go with Bentancur, give Højbjerg and Eriksen, Perisic. We can mix it up so the players don't get tired, because there's a lot of games coming up with the Champions League as well, you see, and then there's going to be a break for the World Cup. So, it's we've got to be careful to bring in players that want to play for us. That's all.
We do have to be careful. You are right.
They've got to have heart for our club as well.
Yeah.
Right. Last question of the evening, Ellie. I know I've just been asking you about all the potential signings. Well, let's talk about the ones that we know have actually happened. Last question here. Who is your signing of the season? You have Romero, Bentancur, Kulusevski. I don't know. Maybe you're a big Emerson fan or something. I'm not sure.
No.
But
I've warmed to him slightly.
But who's your signing of this season?
My signing of the season is Romero. 100%. I love Kulu and I love Bentancur. I love them all. But Romero, he's made a big difference in our defence. And the best form of attack is defence. When you get your defence right, you can win the league, right? Because Kane and Sonny will always score. They will always score. There's times where Kane has had to create his own goals, but look what Romero's brought. He brings out the ball beautifully. His passing is excellent. His tackling is on point, and he wins tackles. That goal that Sonny scored against Leicester, he won the 2 tackles that led to that goal. It was amazing. And the way he reads the game as well. I watch him very closely. He's very cool, calm and collected, which I love in a defender. I hate defenders that panic and jump in too early. He scours. He's like a submarine. In the back, he goes, and then he targets the man who's at the most danger to us, and he sniffs it out, and he's there. And what I like about him as well, when he takes a player out, he really does look over the body of the bloke.
Even if he doesn't win the ball, absolutely, Ellie. Well, Ellie, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Really appreciate you coming on. Looking forward to speaking to you plenty over this summer. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully it's not too hot for you over there, and we'll speak to you soon.
Ellie, I'll see you Saturday, honey.
I'll see you Saturday, Brian.
Looking forward to it.
Bring a
Gotcha,
picnic
Ellie.
hamper. Bye.
Bye. And hopefully you get that copy of the Højbjerg. Hopefully you get the copy of the Højbjerg thing sometime soon.
Definitely.
Hopefully I can get it to you.
Wing it my way. Wing it my way.
Will do.
Bye,
will
lads.
do.
Bye-bye.
Catch you soon. Bye, Ellie. Always class. Always class. And a great way to start it off as well. A great way to start it off. Rob Coyne saying, Brian, only way you're going to buy a pint in Croatia in last 10 years ever. Champions League team have a Croatian player. I'm actually happy at the minute. A playmaker, a 6'4" center forward. I'm not sure if he's 6'4", but I think he is 6'1" in the case of Perisic. But I'm not sure. Maybe a good. I will say, I actually do have a non-alcoholic kind of beer right next to me right now, but
How good are they?
non-alcoholic pint would be nice.
Alcohol-free drinks, mate. July is 14 years of me being sober, mate, and those alcohol-free drinks help a hell of a
14
lot.
years. That's
So
incredible.
yeah, so enjoy your alcohol-free one, mate. Enjoy your alcohol-free. I'm just on the water this afternoon.
I just enjoy it kind of like a soda, and I just, I saw, a little podcast subscription use the 20% off, and, it's kind of helping me out. I'm not going to say the name though, because it's not a plug at all. But Rob, my man, Brian or I, we will enjoy that pint maybe sometime in Croatia, or even just a nice, little seltzer on the beach, whatever it may be, because I've heard Croatia is beautiful, and maybe we'll be doing some scouting for some itches maybe in the future as well, Rob. Big up, my man. Really appreciate support. But to bottom dude is saying the reason for Bastoni to arrive has to be Spurs and not just Conte. If it's just Conte, then I don't blame him if he's having second thoughts. Conte did leave Inter. At Inter, he will have at least familiar people around him. I see what he means about him, dude. Like, the only thing that's probably bringing Bastoni over here is sort of, maybe the Premier League. If he has a dying urge to be in the Premier League, that would be maybe an allure. But then the other thing is Conte. He already has Champions League football with Inter Milan. He does have a lot of familiarity over there, like you just said. There is kind of maybe that cause for concern that maybe he does have a lot of things that could be keeping him back, that could be keeping him sort of tied to maybe his city of Milan there. And his club there. So you could be right about him, dude. But to be fair, I don't know. The fact that some very reputable people have said that he has agreed personal terms does sort of make me think that maybe he is pretty set on maybe, taking a new journey with the likes of with Spurs. But Brian, I think, he's bringing up a good point here. Like, there are a lot of things that Bastoni does have at Inter Milan that do kind of make him happy. It's not like he's missing out on Champions League football there. It's not like, he doesn't have world-class players around him or anything. He has a good manager there. They almost won a title this last season. So he is leaving a good circumstances.
Oh no, that he most definitely is. But what you got to remember is also the pull of London is huge. And not just London. Like I said, the Premier League is the be-all and end-all for a lot of players, especially in Europe. That is the league people try to get to. And having these familiarities there of a Conte, of a Perisic, and other things may just do it. But he has got, like I said, Inter at the moment are flying the league, and then runners up. They're always going to be playing Champions League, and if you're happy, it's going to take a big thing to get him to move. And hopefully, that's why people like Conte are in, for the Conte effect. But talking of us trying to get someone, I've just seen something that breaking. It's not football related, but you'll know, Jack, it's just broke that the Arizona Cardinals quarterback has just died in a car crash, and he's only 25 years old. So that is literally it's got nothing to do. What's his name? Jeff Glorney has just died in a car. Oh, yeah, cornerback, sorry. I think they meant to say quarterback, but he's just died in an accident. So RIP to him. But yeah, getting back to Tottenham related, Bastoni, hopefully the Conte effect, and then this is what the stadium and training ground are there for, that people come and go, wow, look at this setup. So hopefully what we can offer him will be better than what he's getting. Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope to bottom dude. Really appreciate support, my man. It's a great thought, and believe me, I do have that question that you emailed me ready, and I will unleash it at some stage. Not going to give it to everybody because it's a tough one, my man. It's a tough one, but really big yourself up to bottom, dude. I really appreciate support. Very, very generous. Moondog said Ellie will be having 1 cent to her this week. Moondog, my man. Absolutely love it. Ellie, well, there you are. You can be kissing, the Højbjerg, plaque goodnight, just like myself. You won't be jealous any longer, Ellie, so don't you worry. Really appreciate you, Moondog. Absolute legend of the Harris Army. But we're going to keep moving on. We still have plenty to get through. So we do have a good person to bounce off of, especially with Ellie's positivity. We now have Chris. How we doing, Chris?
Evening, lads. How are we all?
Just sorry, Chris, I actually forgot to say this. Tottenham Gold celebrating 7 months as a member, saying big up all the chat and Jack and Brian. Next season, can't wait. Next season can't come fast enough. Can't wait. I am buzzing. If we get the right players in, then nothing can stop us. We are the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. Woo! Chris, I mean, if we get the right players in, if we get everything that Conte wants, where do you see us finishing? I mean, that's pretty much what Dermot's trying to say.
How high can we go? Top of the league? Win the league?
What are you thinking, Chris? Third and above? I mean, how
Third
high
and above.
will you go?
Me, I'm starting to turn into David, a total optimist that we're winning the league.
Whoa!
If everything goes our way. If everything goes our way, Chris, you think you think it's possible?
I'm starting to turn into the Irish Hotspur. We're winning the league. We're as high as we can go.
I haven't
Total
heard David
optimist.
tell me that yet. I haven't heard David tell me that yet.
Seriously, top three.
Okay, listen, we're all that's what I think. Top 3 in an FA Cup or however far we're doing.
Yeah.
To go.
Do you know what? Champions League, yeah. FA Cup, League Cup, we've got a very good chance. Premier League, slim chance, slim to good chance. But
I think we'll be the number one competitor. The number one after Man City and Liverpool. I think we'll be the ones that are in third. That's where I think we're going to be next season.
Well, seeing that we were reported 25-1 to win the league anyway, so next season. So I might stick 20 quid on it to see what happens.
You might as well, Chris. What do you make of the fact that Chelsea have also kind of a war chest? I think that was announced. Brian, did you see that too? That Chelsea have like a war chest that I think has also been sort of announced. Like we went with 150 million. I've heard they have like 200 million or something.
Yeah, that was said last week that they're gonna plow 200.
So two competing war chests then. Two competing.
Yeah, but what you got to look at with Chelsea is they're losing Rudiger. They're going to be losing a few players this season. So it's not so much that they're going to be building on something. They're going to need to strengthen what they're missing. So yeah, they are. I didn't want to say that word, Chris, because we know what that word means. I mean, that word's not existent.
Like
but yeah, they've got 200 million, and they will spend big money on big players. If they see an Asian, and this isn't a pot shot at Tottenham at all. I'm just saying Chelsea will find a player for 90 million and go, there you go, off you go, or they did in the past with Abramovich. So I think the main thing they've got to do is replace, whereas we're strengthening this time.
See, Brian, the thing is with Chelsea, we don't know whether their owners are going to be like Abramovich and go all hell out and spend up big, or they're going to be more conservative. We don't know how those Chelsea owners are going to act. So we know how our owners act, but whether Chelsea's owners act the same as our owners or go absolutely hell with spells on us, we don't know. So we're going to have to sit back and see on that one.
I don't think they're going to go full Abramovich, Chris, but they do actually.
I don't think so.
They're going to have some things that they do have to do. Like they do have to invest pretty significantly because I don't think they're allowed to sell the club within 10 years. And then the other thing as well is that they had to promise that they're going to improve the stadium and like show plans to improve the stadium or build a new one. And then on top of that, still the transfer budget that Chelsea fans are so accustomed to, these days. So I am a bit interested. About
that's why I don't think they're going to go all hell and mighty to make all those big signings in one hit. Whereas us, which is unusual for Tottenham to do, is sign 2 players before the transfer window's even actually officially open. So that's a good omen for us.
Yeah, it is a good omen for us. You're exactly right. Well, Chris, Perisic, Bastoni, one of them is sort of more or less confirmed. The Perisic one, the Bastoni one still has a lot of work.
The Bastoni one is so mixed at the moment. Some reports are saying, the personal terms agreed, it's going to happen. Some are saying he's unsure. So we just need to wait, be patient and wait out to see what happens with that. Because it might be a case of the Tomiyasu of last season. He's coming, he's not coming, he's coming, he's not coming, he's coming. So we don't want that circle again. Either he makes his decision now or we move on from him and find somebody else who wants to be here.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds brutal, but that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can't be saying, we're going to sign him. He's agreed personal terms, but there's a fee's short. Either pay the money for him or move on. Find a suitable replacement for him.
And then in terms of this Jet Spence who just played the other night, I kind of want to ask Brian first because I do want to get his thoughts on it. Brian, like with Jet Spence, do you see Conte like being okay with that signing? Because a lot of people have said that he is the most likely one to come, but he's not really like Conte's sort of style, if you know what I mean, when it comes to like a signing. Like he's young, a bit unproven.
You know what it is, and I said, remember I said this with you, Jack, and I said, listen, if we get over 50% of Conte's targets, I will deem that a success. To think that we're going to get, and again, everything I'm saying today isn't a pile leave, it's just the way I see it. I think there is going to be a transfer like a Jed Spence that may not be the number one target that he wants because of all these
number
one
Levy signing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Either the Levy signing or the let's invest in one for the future. Or there's going to be one. We're not going to get just because this money's coming in. We're not going to be dining at like eating lobster and caviar for every single signing like a Man City do or whatever.
Or letting Conte pick everything off the menu.
Yeah,
or letting him pick everything. Yeah.
There's going to be a player like that, and I think this is where Jed Spence is coming in. He might have another target, but if you look at it, he may think this guy can do a job. It's just whether he can do it to the level that I need him to, and it's worth it. If you look at it, if he says, right, you can get Bastoni in, but that means we have to go for Jed Spence, or we go for a better right back and we don't get Bastoni. This is what the way I'm thinking. He's like, right, okay, right wing back might be the place, but there's rumours coming out that he's open to staying at Forest. And you know what? With that, I look at it. Neil Warnock, who he's tweeted and whatever, disowned him or didn't use him. He's gone to Forest. He's got promoted, so he's shown Neil Warnock wrong. And maybe he wants to show some loyalty to Forest, who are in the Premier League. He knows he's going to start. So I don't think that deal is anywhere near getting done. Or that one, I don't even know will get done because he may say, do you know what? Forest gave me a lifeline. I want to commit to Forest. Obviously, the money will come into it, but when it comes to Jed Spence, I don't think he is Conte's number. Like Conte is given the list and he's top of it for that position, but I think he's willing to sacrifice and go, yeah, okay, maybe that one is the one where I can get maybe not my top request.
What are your thoughts on all that, Chris? Like, is Spence more something a Levy signing, and would you be excited by it?
Not really. I'm not overly keen on Jed Spence, if I'm honest. But the thing is, you got to remember as well, does Conte actually want him? Is it going to be another case of, well, why have you bought him if I'm not going to use him?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to ask a lot of questions. We want to sign somebody who's ready-made, tailor-made to challenge for that first team straight away. Not maybe one for next year or the year after. Do you know what I mean?
Whereas like is a Perisic like the complete opposite for you, where it's like that screams.
Well, Perisic will probably walk straight into that first team.
Mm-hmm. And is that a Conte signing for you, Perisic? Just to be clear, is that more of a Conte signing?
Perisic is a ready-made player, so that's definitely a Conte signing. Whereas Jed Spence just come from the Championship, not tested in the Premiership, not tested in the highest leagues. Whereas Perisic has come from Serie A, which is one of the highest leagues in the world. So, where you got to look at it, like Perisic he's played in World Cups, he's played in Champions League finals and semi-finals.
He's won more than 10 trophies. I mean, to get
more than 10 trophies,
double-digit trophies to have in your cabinet, Chris. Imagine that.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? But with Jed Spence, I'm not so sure that he'll actually make it. It could be another case of a Jack Clark signing. Do you know what I mean?
Chris, the only thing I disagree with that, I know exactly what you're saying. But the one thing he does do, and one thing we've seen in the Championship that he does very, very well, is create and get up that wing and offer something attacking. Compared to, we know what we've got and they can't attack. So it's very, very appealing to see what he does in the Championship, creating. But like I said, it's that huge step up. Now, some players do make it, some don't.
Brian, we can look at Jack Clark. He had that amazing season with Leeds, in the Championship. Burnt it up. We signed him for 10 million, and then what happened? It went the absolute opposite way. So this is where I get wary of signing Championship players. Joe Rodon the same. Great in the Championship, but when it comes to stepping up to the Premiership, did he really? Do you know what I'm saying? So we have to be wary of that. So whereas I would personally myself, my own opinion is have a tailor-made, ready-to-go player, not one maybe for next year or the year after.
Would that concern you, Brian? Because I'm in Chris's boat here. It would concern me if Jed Spence isn't able to compete with Doherty or Emerson for the first team. That would concern me.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can.
Okay,
look,
so
when you're comparing a Perisic who has been to a World Cup final, one Serie A, one in Germany, won everything. There's no comparison between him and Jed Spence for what we need right now, which is experience, which is people that know how to get the job done. Listen, he's won a playoff final, which is like the pressure on that
but
game.
in your eyes, he's good enough to challenge Emerson.
Without doubt. Without doubt.
Without
doubt.
Me, Chris, I think that gives me a bit of, that gives me a bit
of... Without doubt, to challenge them two, yeah, I think he can, because you've got to remember, those two, or especially Doherty has got the attacking, he's done it in the Premier League. Emerson, who has come on leaps and bounds defensively, we know he needs to work goddamn hard on his attacking.
Yeah, I agree on that.
If you could start, Joe, what you could bring, let's say we're playing a team where we need to all out attack, then it's like, okay, well, Jed Spence starts this game because that's what we need to do. And then if it's a game where we need to defend and counter-attack, then it's like, okay, bring on Emerson or Doherty, wherever they go. But I think what we're lacking is attacking creativity in that position, and he will bring that.
Yeah. See, this is where you got to look at someone like a Kostic then, who could possibly come in and do a job himself.
Yeah. You're right.
Do
you see
what I'm saying?
Two questions then, Chris, just to end on with Kostic.
That's just an example, Kostic. Do you want to bring Kostic in, who's got probably European? He's already got European experience playing for Frankfurt, right? So he's played in the big trophies already.
Yep.
Yeah, but then you've got Jed Spence, who's played in the Championship, the playoff, which in the Championship League is a big trophy as well. But it's a 50-50 answer or a toss of a coin. Do we go for the one who can come in straight away, or do we want the one who needs to be bedded into the team generally? But you never know. He could be like a Dele Alli, come into the first team and light it up. We don't know. We just don't know exactly what would happen with him. So it's on Conte's shoulders whether he wants him or not.
Yeah, exactly right, Chris.
Chris, let's put it one way. Let's just say it was these two options. I'm just picking these names just for either or. Would you rather see at the start of the season, first game, whoever it may be, the combination of Bastoni and a Jed Spence, or let's say a Dumfries and a Joe Rodham?
Well, obviously it would be a Bastoni and Jed Spence because Bastoni is.
That's why I think that position or that with Jed Spence is because we don't know what the budget is and who's coming in what positions, but I think
exactly
in these positions, like when we had Jan and Toby, those two you just didn't get through them. That was the perfect partnership. If he has to make sure that Romero and Bastoni is the dream ticket for him with Dyer sitting in the middle, but Jed Spence is the way that this deal comes, then I think he'll see it. But getting back to the original, I don't think he is a Conte. I have to have him. I think it's we might have to get him if you want this, and this.
I agree.
That's exactly it. But I don't think if you said Jed Spence to Conte, you'd be like, well, if I need him, I'll have him. But do I really want him? I'm not so sure.
If I can work with him. Yeah, if I can work with him, that's what he's probably thinking. Last question of the evening, Chris. Signing of the season, not the signings that have happened. These signings, or these signings that have happened. What is your signing of the season? Bentancur, Romero?
First of all, it has to be Romero.
Okay.
Secondly, Kulusevski, and thirdly, Bentancur. The top three signings. Emerson in a lowly fourth because he's improved slightly towards the end of the season.
Bit of a gap between those three.
Yeah, but no, seriously, it'll have to be Romero the beast because you saw it between the games when he was injured at the start of the season until when he actually came back and he was fully fit. The difference in the defense.
You're with Ellie.
Yeah, so
that's Romero.
Definitely, but then you've got Kulusevski and Bentancur in a close second and third, and as I said, just holding up the back, them three is Emerson.
Are you an Emerson sexual now, Chris? You know, like RAI is saying?
I've warmed to Emerson. I've always said just give him one more season. Let's see what happens to him because everybody's judged him on the first season alone, and sometimes it does take players time to adjust to the Premiership. Some are slower than the others.
Are you starting to miss the Emerson comps? You know now?
No, not really, because Emerson, for me, the start of the season, he was atrocious. We all know he was just so poor. Couldn't tackle, couldn't make a decent pass, couldn't cross. couldn't cross the halfway line. But the second half of the season, he actually improved. Under Conte, he has actually improved. He can get into the second half now, but he just needs to learn how to cross.
Mm-hmm. There you are.
If you learn to cross, it might be all right.
I mean, to be fair, like I think what he's learned is to cut inside instead of crossing. You know, he's kind of found a way around crossing. You could say somehow.
Yeah, but see, as I said, it's for me, Jack. Sometimes it's not good to write off a player after the first season because there's always room for improvement. Give him another season. Give him another season. Let's see what happens.
Of all the bad signings, Chris, he doesn't really rank that high or that.
Yeah, he doesn't really rank that high in a bad signing. He is a pretty poor player, but he's not as bad as what we've got in the squad already.
Chris, honestly, it seems like maybe you're going to have to be leading the Emerson fan club, meetings, next week. Is it by the looks of it? Everybody thinking, maybe you're the new Emerson, the new Emerson fan club.
Not at all. I'm not Emerson's greatest fan, but I believe in giving every player a chance. Giello shit show can go. I don't give a damn about him. And if we get rid of Ndombele, I'll be even happier.
There you go. I like that.
Because they're two of the most toxic players we had in our team.
Yeah, I mean, Tanguy, a lot of people wanted to get rid of Tanguy over Harry Winks. But Chris, pleasure as always, my man. Really appreciate you, my man.
Jack, soon as we sell Harry Winks, I'm throwing the biggest party, trust me.
Everybody's invited. All of Newcastle to shut down.
Yeah. Well, they will be shut down if he signs for Newcastle, that's for sure. They won't be happy at all.
That's what I used to do on Championship Manager. I used to take the richest club and just get rid of all my... I used to manage Tottenham, but then I'd manage Manchester United and sell all my shit players for all the big money. That's what Newcastle needs to do for us and take Harry Winks.
Brian, the Geordie fans won't have him up here. They just... Oh. I've got one of my mates. I showed him the report about Newcastle wanting to sign Harry Winks. He goes, you lot can fucking keep him.
Yeah, Chris, you would have to keep buying the lunch. You'd have to keep buying the lunch. He
goes, they'll take any other player from Tottenham, even one of the shit players, except for Harry Winks.
Yeah, no.
And that says a lot.
It does say a lot, my man. But Chris, pleasure as always, my man.
Pleasure.
We'll be catching you very soon. And
yeah.
Hopefully we'll be talking about the signing of Bastoni next week, my man.
Yeah. One last thing, everybody, tomorrow, make sure you are smashing a like on Bob's stream and be there for him. He's an amazing character and he needs all the support he can. So everybody be there tomorrow.
Thank you, Chris, for saying that. Thank you, Chris, for saying that. I'm gonna put that in the chat one more time. Big up, Chris. Good to see you. Good to have you as always, my man. Big yourself up, Chris. As always, everybody. From Ellie to Chris. I mean, you couldn't start off the fan show even better. I'm gonna bring on the next guest, but I do just want to put in Bob Spur's stream to anybody that is new in the house. We do have 336 in the house. Wow. Bob Spur is running a very, very special stream tomorrow, everybody. So do click on that link there, put it on the save to watch later, or I think, to notify, to schedule it so that it reminds you when it is live. And then also hit that like while you're already in there, everybody. So there is Bob Spur TV's link there. But we are going to keep plowing on. Let me just check what I think the order was. I put it in back there. I think, this is going to be interesting. I think it might be a debut or like a second time, but we have Colin.
Hey, man. What's up, fellas?
Is it a debut or is it like a second time? I feel like it's the second.
Yeah, I think it's more of a second, but it feels like a debut. It's been a while, regardless.
Looking forward to it. Well, what do you want to talk about? Perisic, Bastoni. It's mostly transfer stuff that we're really talking about these days.
Okay, so think about this. Just dream with me for a moment, all right? We're looking at our back line. We don't think about the right wing back because it doesn't fit my dream. But then, then we've got a back three of Cutie, we've got Dyer, and then we've got Bastoni, and then on the left we've got Perisic, and then we've got Sonny on the left. I don't know. That's just a scary. That's a really nice team there. I think that left side is dangerous. Can you imagine Sonny and Perisic, just like kind of interchanging and attacking on that left side? I think it's a very shrewd signing.
It is a very shrewd signing, and what I kind of like about it, and also Brian, maybe get you in here. What I kind of like about it is the fact that Perisic, like from what we saw, like this guy is like one of the most 2-footed sort of players, you could ever find, and imagine having a 2-footed player on that left wing back or right wing back spot. Be very different.
The fact that he can kind of
cut inside.
Well, this is the thing. You look at it, and we were saying all January and this whole time that in an Antonio Conte system, the quarterbacks, the wing backs are the most creative people in his team, and they need to be able to deliver. Well, Perisic most certainly does. Yeah. He has got the engine. I don't know what it is with these Croatians. They are built like tanks, and they last. Look at people like Luka Modric winning a Champions League at 37. 33 means nothing to these players that keep themselves so fit and do everything. And one thing this man will do is deliver. And Kane and Son will be licking their lips. Absolutely licking their lips. Absolutely. It's kind of like, you think about the times when we're going forward and people have been like, oh, I don't know if that ball's going to get... People say it with Beckham or with Gerrard or whatever. I make that run because I know if I make that run. And like what Harry Kane does with Son. I make that run because I know Kane's got the ball. Well, it's going to be happening more with Perisic. And the fact that he's double-footed, 2-footed, it's an incredible thing to do. And like the things that he's going to pass down to Sessegnon, to Ollie Skip, to even younger players that they're going to see at the training ground every single day. He is a colossal signing. He really, really is.
And I love that. I love that this came up right now. This is perfect. Nice to bring that up. I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you guys about this specifically. Well, we've seen every single signing or potential signing we see has been a defensive signing so far. And
when are the attacking ones coming? Yeah.
Right, and I understand that our defense needs a pretty big overhaul, and it looks like we're going to get it. But we also, we've got a pretty good starting, lineup when it comes to our offensive players. We've got Sonny, Kane, Kulu's proven to be like undroppable. At least he's getting to that point. So we would be looking mostly at like backup players or rotational. We don't. I don't think you're always looking to improve, but like. If we can't improve in those spots, we at least need adequate backup. And so would you guys take Bale or Eriksen?
The funny thing with Bale, and I want to know what Brian thinks my answer here.
Yep.
He is very temporary. Like, he's probably the most temporary signing you could bring in. But I would say if he could play as sort of a backup number 9 to Harry Kane, that could be interesting because he would give you something similar to Harry Kane where you could see him dropping deep, pinging passes left and right, kind of linking play a bit similarly, not to the same ability that Harry Kane does, of course, but something like you wouldn't have to change your game style too much, with Bale coming into the team. And then he also has that sort of technical ability from like outside the box that we all know Harry Kane has as well. So he could hit one from distance, et cetera. So I kind of would take Bale back, and I'd probably, to answer your question, Colin, I'd probably take him back sooner than I'd take Eriksen. But I think that's kind of crazy because that's a lot of ifs. Like, that's a lot of Bale plays for us the whole season, if like.
I think he would only come for really a 6-month loan. I think it would literally only be a 6-month loan just to stay fit for the World Cup. But even if it's that, even if he bangs in 5-6 goals, I feel like it's worth it.
This is the thing. Colin, what you just said is what I'd heard, that he's thinking of announcing his retirement after the World Cup. Actually, I was going to the World Cup. I can't remember.
They've had that playoff. Have they had that playoff with Scotland?
That's right. They've got Scotland, Ukraine, and the winner. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Has that happened? Has it not happened yet?
No. Scotland, Ukraine are about to happen. Obviously, due to what's been going on, but. Gareth Bale is. Do you know what? He's an. I don't know. Eriksen, I'm a no to. With Bale, I'm more no because I've spent a lot of time coming on stream saying we have to get rid of this sentimentality around these players. Can Bale come in and do a job? Yes, but he's a short-term fix. Can we go out and get? Don't get me wrong. It'll be a short-term fix, and he'll do what he does. But is there a player?
I just want a trophy.
I want us to get a player that is. Right now in the moment, in the peak of his career or about to hit the peak and going up. Not he's been at his peak and he's coming down. So if I had to have one of the two, I really think I'll go for Bale, just because even when Bale came back, all right, it was against lesser teams. He scored goals.
Those are the teams that sit back against us, Brian. The teams we can't score against. Like, I think it makes so much sense to have Bale because that's when we need him. It's when we've proven to struggle against teams that sit back, that pack in on defense, and I think Bale would really kill it. And I don't know. I just feel like we're on to all the free signings. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we at least make an offer to Eriksen and Bale. But will it happen? I'm not really sure. But
there you are, Loves Music. There you are, my man. And honestly, good discussion there. To be fair, I'd probably take Bale back if he could play that sort of Harry Kane role for however long he could do it, just because I do rate his technical ability that highly. And then John Stokes says, as it stands, our war chest is 174 million pounds.
I think that includes the sale. Does that include the sale of Celso then?
Yeah, I think that's what he means.
Okay,
so maybe two different questions here via John Stokes here, Colin. Maybe we'll start with the Gio one, just because we haven't spoke about that. Are you happy to see Gio go?
I mean, yeah, for him and us, I like the dude, and I think he seems like a nice guy, hard worker. Remember when he came in and he basically turned the season around for Mourinho one season. But he just wasn't shining with us. Either us not playing, to a way that like suits him, or whatever the reason. He wasn't producing and wasn't having fun, wasn't expressing himself on the pitch. We'd see him play for the national team. He was having fun again. He was a good player. Now we've seen him. Villarreal? No, wait, is that where he is? Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I thought. And he's having fun again, and so that's good. And if we get some money back, it's cool in a lot of ways. It shows that Levy's okay finally with taking a loss on a player, admitting maybe that he made a mistake, in their valuation when he purchased them. And so that I think might be a milestone in a way. And then we're getting a player off the books. We're getting some money back. Win.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, despite, you maybe being, a bit of a, having a soft spot for Gio, but, the sounds of it, having a soft spot for him, it's good for all parties. It's good for Spurs and it's good for Gio. Both people kind of, I feel like are happy. Brian, what are your thoughts on Gio? I kind of feel like he never really liked playing for Spurs, if you ask me. So I feel like he's probably pretty happy to be over at Villarreal.
So Gio, if you go back to the season he came and when COVID broke and Son and Kane were both injured, he was the driving force.
That's
his
right.
runs but don't get me wrong, it didn't lead to anywhere, but he was one that stood up and tried to create and tried to get things going. And we see what he does for Argentina. He plays very well for Argentina, but whose role does he play? Heung-min Son's. You're not taking Heung-min Son's position. It's just not happening. And this has come down to, again, the bad scouting where we've just brought players in and no idea where to play them or how to get the best out of them. But he had to be out. There seemed to be an issue with Conte. And listen, we've had so many of these players. We are the kings of keeping Deadwood and just not getting rid of them and just not selling them and then maybe offer them a new contract. But by the looks of it now, by getting rid of him and taking that huge hit, like we said earlier, this shows that we're not standing for it anymore. Should it go through? Which really means Conte and Perisic really are starting to do things. So, yeah, listen, if we had to talk about Ndombele, Hill, Lo Celso, if one of them had to stay, I probably would have said Lo Celso. I probably would have said him. But that's not positive on him. That just shows how badly these others need to go.
True.
But yes,
that's a whole other conversation we should have.
You look at this. Ndombele still here doing nothing. Lucas Moura, as much as I love him, and everyone does for what he did in Amsterdam, he's not really done much since.
And he doesn't generate interest from other clubs. Like, that's how you know you got a good player, is when you have to fend off interest for them during the summer.
It just happens. These players that where other teams go, right, you're not cutting the mustard off, you go, we'll take a hit or whatever, so we just keep them going and going and going and going and going. And now, with Lo Celso going out, maybe a huge sign, because we've got to remember, this isn't just with this money players coming in, it's a big thing with getting players out. Yeah. And it could be a big step to say, right, this is the kind of club Conte's going to run, and it can only be positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And 174 million now in that war chest. there, John. I mean, plenty more to work with, and probably with all the signings that might come in, it'd be good to have, a few departures, just to kind of take away from, the hit that we might take, with that 150 million, because who knows where we'll actually spend it. I doubt all of it will really go towards the transfer budget.
That's the cynic in us, though. But what if it does? Like, let's just be hopeful for it.
There's also an original transfer budget that was probably already there, so it's maybe a huge portion of that goes on top of the original transfer.
I really hope so, and I hope that they really do. I'm trying to be hopeful, and I know that's a kind of a silly thing to do, maybe, but I'm hoping.
Here.
Well, the other thing is where some of that money might go, and with it, I'm not opposed to it at all, because what it brings is, I don't know if I'm right, and people back home or people around the world, I'm sure we're increasing the capacity this summer. I think there's more seats going into the the south stand. I can't remember if we did that last year and redoing it again, or it's not this season. But if we are doing that, some of that money is blatantly going. Don't get me wrong, that's not going to be a huge amount in the grand scheme of things. But I think there will be certain aspects of the stadium that will be touched up on or slightly improved on. But I think I said even before this announcement, though, and I think I said it with you, Jack, did I think that the amount of money is up for debate? No, I didn't. Do I think the amount of players was up for debate? No, I didn't. My concern was signing players older than the age range we normally sign a player. And Perisic, forget Foster because he's a goalkeeper. Perisic is a huge sign to say, okay, we're signing a 33-year-old.
Yeah, we're mixing it up for once.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not going for the typical bill that we know we're used to. Last question.
That's why I think Bale's a good idea, Brian. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jack. But.
No. Maybe you're right. We continue down that trend, Colin, of the Perisic, sort of, type of signings. You're right. Last question, my man. Signing of the season.
Okay. So I've been thinking about this. Everyone says, Romero, and I get that, and I agree with that in a way. But I'm actually going to just rock the boat for fun and say Kulu.
Love it.
What he's done is he's really allowed Kane and Son especially to express himself, and he's taken a lot of the creative workload off of Son. He holds the ball up well. He can play a well-timed pass. It was just the Kane and Son show for so long because they, Mora, God love him, is kind of just a runner. He can't put in a very good weighted pass. He can't. That's just not his skill set, which is fine. We all love him for what he does, like mentioned earlier. But I think Kulu being up there really added more fluidity and an extra dimension to our attack. And I think it was instrumental in helping Son get the golden boot. So,
love that actually, and I know Sean would love that. I know Sean would love that speech because he's a big Kulu fan. To be fair, so well said. Colin. Brian, I haven't asked you, before we let Colin go, who's your signing of the season?
Listen, it's Romero. It's Romero for me, hands down. And the only reason I say hands down is, don't get me wrong, Kulu and Bentancur came in and did incredible. But we needed, if you look at the attack at the start of the season, you say Son and Kane, everyone in the world will take that too. You look at that defence, and it needed a major player to come in to set the standards, and that man by a country mile has. And that's the only reason I go for him, because that is the place where we needed the most help with. And boy, can you just imagine if he was fit all season and we got the Romero? We might not be talking fourth. We would have been talking third.
Don't get me. That's crazy. That's crazy. That just giving me shivers thinking about that. That's beautiful to think about, Brian. But Colin, pleasure, my man. Absolutely smashed it. The time flew by, brother. Really good to have you on. Thanks
let's do it again, okay?
Let's do it again. We'll see you next week.
Colin, brother.
Hey, see you, Brian. Later, fellas.
Catch you, Colin. Thanks for waiting, my man. And we'll catch you next time, brother. Really appreciate it.
Everyone check his channel out as well. Talk and Ball.
Yeah, thank you. Come check me out,
everybody. Check it out, everybody. Put it in the chat as well, Colin. But we'll check you out later, my man. Appreciate you, my man.
Peace out, fellas.
All right, everybody. There was Colin from Talking Ball. Check out Talking Ball. But we're gonna keep plowing on. We have so many to get through, and Brian and I do kind of have a bit of, I think, two separate sort of dates, almost like to get to, I think, tonight. So we're going to keep moving on. We have Ian coming up next. Ian, how we doing, my man?
It's going all right. It's a nice blistery 88 degrees in Cincy right now. So it's hot as hell outside right now. Hot as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are
Other than
you?
that, though, in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
Where basically we get 1 week of spring, 3 weeks of fall, and it's either snowing or hot as hell the rest of the year. So
Yeah,
that's about
for me
it.
as well.
Good endorsement, of the the meteorology there. But Brian, I've gone first every single time. Do you want to go first, maybe with asking the questions here? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
Yeah, well, we could do that. So, I mean, obviously, let's target away. Let's get rid of the players that we know, the Bastonis, the Perisic, the Jet Spence. If you are Conte, and you had to get what realistic, how you think could benefit the team right now, apart from the ones that have obviously the Bastoni, Perisic, post up, Jet Spence. Who are you going for and where?
Yeah, who are you?
Oh geez, oh man, it's like right now, as far as like individual players go, I'm really not too sure, just because like I just haven't spent like a lot of time just tracking them. But I would say basically, if it's like I would say like more positional wise, let's definitely shore up that like central spot here. Whether even if that means like it's like as far as like Eriksen is concerned, like I kind of go like back and forth on that. It'd be nice, but also
you want a center mid to be brought in.
Yeah. Well, let me put it like this: it's nice that we don't need him, I guess, or at least there's like other options there as far as like Bale is concerned. Even if it is for like 6 months, sure, why not? I mean, like if for nothing else, like he can just teach a lot of these young folks like just all of the ins and outs here. But yeah, as far as strikers are concerned,
would you be a fan of this guy? I'm not sure how much Serie A you're able to catch in your spare time, but Milinkovic-Savic is a big time player that is headed out maybe this summer. Would you take someone like him?
I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but I mean, like I'm sure I could just.
He actually has 2 itches in his name. 2 itches in his name, which is double
2
the
itches,
itch
man. So hopefully for us, that could potentially be a very awesome
Levy would
sign.
love that, because then he could say you signed 3 itches. Then he could say you signed 3 itches.
He absolutely would. That cheap ass. He definitely would.
I actually, Brian, to answer your question, I'm kind of in the same boat here as Ian here, with the fact that as much as what's actually all right, and maybe I could form this into a question after I give my answer. If you asked me a long time ago, I was kind of like you, Brian, where if I wanted to spend the most money somewhere, it would be in the wingback positions.
Yep.
But the real dilemma there is like, what sort of wingbacks are available on the market that you could splash 70 million on? Because there aren't really any good enough wingbacks out there that are really worth that price. Like, it's not like Alphonso Davies is available. It's not like the whole Hakimi thing. Like, is he really available? I'm not sure. It's a weird one. That would be the guy that maybe you could spend 50 million, 60 million on. And so the big disappointing thing for me is that there isn't exactly like a world-class wingback available at this moment in time that's available on the market. I know there's Teo Hernandez, all these sort of people, but it's just not available. So if I were to make a world-class signing, I'd be like Ian. I'd go after Sergey and bring in an extra addition into midfield. He'd get you those goals from midfield. I think, Brian, he has like 11 goals and 11 assists in just the league. So I'd go after Sergey Milinkovic-Savic. I mean, such a great name to say as well.
I'm going to have to very quickly say, I'm sticking with what I keep saying. It keeps splitting opinions, and only because I've said it all season, I'm not going to backtrack. For me, it's James Ward-Prowse. It is James Ward-Prowse. If you look at it, you've got Ollie
battle
Skip
of the three names, the battle of the hyphenated names.
Exactly. You've got Skip coming back. We need a and the one thing we all know, whether we sign a creative midfielder or not, is our set pieces really need improving. And straight away, that goes straight out that need or that strength that you need adjusting is dealt with. You don't need to worry about a damn thing with him. His off the ball game needs improving. It can be better, but he still does well. But under a Conte, I think this guy could go levels above. Now, a lot of people are like, no, we don't need him, and I understand that. It's just for me, I'm looking at it. If you look at it, we need creativity in the wing backs. And one of the things we desperately need to improve on is having a. Can you imagine how many free kicks that Harry Kane took or whatever? It was James Ward-Prowse on the end of it last season.
We still need a creative midfielder, Brian. I think it would be crazy to say that we don't, because, well, we need a creative midfielder that can get away with maybe playing in the midfield too if he needs to, if it ever came to that. Because what we're having, I think the problem we have right now is Skip, Højbjerg, and Bentancur are all too similar to each other, if you ask me.
I agree.
Even though that's a good thing, I think that's a good thing that they're similar to each other, but we need something different if we're going to bring in another.
Yeah. It's like, and like just the way that I've always just imagined Ward-Prowse being like, he can definitely play up top just relative to the front three, but like even like maybe slip in there every so often, and so you have like a very, very aggressive front four. I think he could definitely play that part here like very, very well. But as far as I'm concerned, like I'm not too. How old is he? Like
25, 26, I think James.
Okay.
I think he's
Yeah. It's like, so I think he's like right at that perfect age range where, especially under a Conte, who knows, like just what all like he can just unlock there. And like I would say, like if Southampton do agree to sell him, I mean, look, like they're going to ask for an insane amount of cash just relative for them. And I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, look, it's Southampton. They may not even be in the Prem after this next year. Who the hell knows? So I'm just sort of at the point where I'm just like, if he's out there, if there's some interest there, just shell out the cash. I mean, it's like we have this 150, 175, right? It's there to be spent. So just please just like make this happen.
Make it happen. Completely agree. And you just said 175 million. Happy to see Gio go. Kind of had a soft spot for Gio. Where did you lie on the Gio situation?
I would say like as soon as he like came in that 1920 season, I mean, just with COVID and like everything else, I mean, look, like I'll be completely honest, especially when like Harry was out hurt, he was the only reason I would watch, honestly. And then after that, I mean, like just once he just hit just the down with the word, man, he was down. It's like a few flashes here or there. I was able to watch the South. I was able to watch him for Argentina once or twice, and I'm just like, it's like, why can't we have this? I mean, like that being said, though, the Argentinian national team is just stacked. So I completely understand that to a certain extent, but like, just try here, dude. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to complete like a 6-foot pass. Like just to like someone
he's had some
on your squad. It's like, and I would say honestly, if that's what it's like, if we can get like ultimately 25 for him, it's a hit. But I'm just at the point like where I'm kind of like surprised that we're even able to swing that.
What do you just quickly then? And I'm going to ask Brian first here. Gio and Winks were both valued at the same price of 20 million euros. What have you made of the fact that Winks' price tag is supposedly 20 million euros?
Well, do you know what? This is the thing. I think, do you know what? It's like when you put your car up for sale and you go, nearest offer. Listen, compared to last year where he wanted 30, 35 for him.
That's right.
Taking 20. Do you know what? 20 million, Premier League proven.
That'd be unbelievable.
Premier League established. Listen, I think Southampton or other teams, he could actually do a good job, but his ceiling is here and we are up here. Right. So just getting him out the door, mate, do you know what? If I was there, I would pay the team to take Winks personally because I just want him gone. And that's not because I hate. He's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. So I don't care what value you get him, and if you've dropped it, let's go easy. You're not expecting him to drop from 35 to like 10 million one season with the men in charge. So 20 million is a good middle ground, and the English tax on it, you're going to pay it. So I think it shows more how easy. I think it shows more how prepared we are to get Gio out at that low than making Winks the same. I think it's amazing that we put Gio at Winks' rate rather than Winks at Gio.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't think about that. What are your thoughts, Ian? You know, Winks valued at 20 million euros?
Look, if we can convince some club to pay us 20 million for him, it's sort of at the point where I'm like, we should pay some other club to take him. So it's sort of like, with the weight, do we get to unload him and they pay us? Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say no here. So I forget who just asked us, but as far as like Weston McKinney is concerned, now obviously, I'm like hoping the U.S. can put out a pretty strong showing for the World Cup here. It's like I would say possibly him. I mean, like there's a lot of upside there, but I would say like not right now. And even I think like someone may have even asked about Christian Perisic. It looks like it looks like he isn't like very happy out there. I mean, look, like just for obviously for very sentimental U.S. national team reasons, I would love to see him at Spurs. But considering he would play either on the left or the right, if we do sign him, there's no way he beats out Son for that spot. Never in a million years. Now that being said, though, if we do bring in someone like that, it would occasionally give Son a much needed rest, which he like just needs. It's like because he's what, like 27, 28 now. So I think if like we could just possibly get him some like reliable help, that would help out a lot, I would think. Yeah.
There's a couple of names that I hate Marmite, who's a wicked supporter of all the channels, and I've missed not seeing that name because I love Marmite, but love him. So people have been saying James Maddison. I will tell you now, categorically, that is not happening. And the reason it won't happen is he's an Arsenal guy, and we have actually messed up that deal twice. Once when he left from Coventry to Norwich, and second of all when he went from Norwich to Leicester. So that was him. But like I said, I'm not going down that road today. That's not about that. So James Maddison, I love that player. Love him and would love him. I would love him at Spurs. But the reason I don't say him over Ward-Prowse is he categorically will not be coming to us because of what's going on and his allegiance. He's not coming. But the other one he did mention, who I would take in a heartbeat, but they won't sell him to us, is Conor Gallagher. I would take him in a heartbeat from his low spell at Palace. I would take him in a heartbeat. But Maddison ain't coming. But Conor Gallagher, if it is Conor Gallagher, isn't it? I can't remember his first name.
Yeah. I think so.
I would take him in a minute.
Yeah, I think he was one of the Premier League players of the season, at least in my book. You said about Winks, I thought was hilarious, Ian. The fact that it'd be like a Delhi situation where, like, even selling him for money, you know, you're like, yeah, we'll take anything.
Actual cash.
Probably,
right.
PERIŠIC, he did almost go to jail this year. So if he were to go to jail, it probably would be to sell Winks for money. I think that is almost probably like a crime in itself. You know, he probably would be sent. It's like
we all have these like
you're not
mental
allowed to make
lists.
money on a Winks transfer. I think
Right. Yeah, it's like it's very much like one of those things. Like we all have those like certain folks in our lives who we would do anything for. Right, going to jail for Harry Winks. A lot in your life would have had to go really bad for that to even be a viable option. That's all I'm saying.
If he didn't go to jail for what happened in the Serie A, I could see that, you know, maybe selling Winks and Dele Alli for profit. I mean, that's I don't know. That could be cooking the books of anything. But Ian,
my God, yeah.
Last question of the evening. Signing of the season, my man. Signing of the season.
Christian Romero. I mean. Just a straight up back alley, just monster. I mean, like he has just done wonders. I mean, he's made Eric Dyer look like a halfway decent player, which is just insane. And like, yeah, it's like I would say like Kulusevski's up there too. But I think just bringing it, like the fact that Perisic was able to get Christian Romero in when Nuno was the coach is just like it's like I don't think I need to say like anything else other than that. Obviously,
that's hilarious. I never heard that before. It's hilarious.
It's like, but yeah, like he's been awesome this first year. Hopefully there is no like sophomore slump, and hopefully we can just get him locked up right now. Because I know the window opens up in a little over 2 weeks at this point, I think. But just get him locked up long term and just help like build around him on that back line would be like the most important thing I would think right now.
Yep, great answer, and just another mark for Christian Romero there, Brian. I mean, I don't know, like a fan club is being developed here. It's crazy.
Well, do you know what it is as well? I think this guy's already got cult hero status.
Yeah.
Just to pick 2 things very, very quickly, that whack on Richarlison is just like you've just gone and bulldozed the guy for no absolute reason. It riles the crowd up. And also, you look at the double tackle he did against Leicester. It's things like that. I mean, it's things like that. And I've never seen it. Mate, even when he did the bicycle kick for no reason at all in the Liverpool game, when the ball was nowhere near him, but he thought it was coming. So he's in our penalty. He's in the opposition's penalty area. And then the next minute, he's so advanced, and it's such a breath. Do you know what? It kind of reminds me, now I'm going back a bit, when Yap Stam went to United. Because he was such a breath of fresh air and a defender like no one had seen. And this guy is just like the biggest breath of fresh air, and just a warrior, a straight up warrior. And he is going to, I think he already has cult hero status, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger, the love we have for him. I think he'll go to like Kane and Sunny Devils. That's how much love I think this guy is going to get.
Yeah.
He's on his way. Yeah, he's definitely on his way there.
Yeah, completely agree. Ian, pleasure as always, my man. And really
always,
appreciate
guys.
you coming on consistently, or coming on every week, it feels like. And I must say, like I said to you, I think a long time ago, get to learn, get to know, a bit more about you each week. Now I hear that, you're not a big fan of Ohio weather, which I don't think really anybody is.
Never have been.
Your thoughts on transfers, everything Spurs. So really appreciate you coming on so often, Ian.
And just one last thing. Someone asked me if I'm going to the U.S. Morocco match, like either Wednesday or like tomorrow. Unfortunately, I am not. I would shell over the cash to see the national team play, but I'm not shelling out the cash to see them play Morocco. But hopefully,
choices.
Right, and I believe Cincinnati finds out in a couple of weeks if they do get to host a couple of things for the 26 World Cup. So, fingers crossed.
Hey, are you Ian Ferguson?
Yeah, yeah, it's me.
Come on, I finally got. Because I'm going back to England, so let me know because I'll pick up the message.
Yeah. I will hit you up here on that here very, very soon. All right, man.
Yeah, no worries at all, mate. Just whenever you're ready, I'll be in England from Thursday for about 3.5 weeks, and it is a pleasure to finally put a name to the face, or a face to the name, either way.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right, Ian. Catch you very soon, my man. We'll see you next week, and I really appreciate you tuning in as always, Ian. Catch you, bro.
All right, guys. Peace. Bye.
See you later.
Bye. Ian, I must say, I think we're just banging through these, and everybody's doing extraordinary because it feels like the time is flying. It's each and every single person, from Ellie to Chris to Ian, Colin. I mean, we're just banging it off. I would say really good guys.
There you go, mate. Dream team.
And we're going to keep going. I think we have a debut for this one, Brian, and he's been responding in the private chat a lot, so I can tell he has a lot to say. We have Elias.
Hello, hi everyone. Yeah,
how you doing, buddy?
First time today. Joining you
Good
all
to see you, my man.
on
Good
the
to
Irish Hotspur.
Yeah. Is this the debut? I'm pretty sure it's the debut, right?
Yes, it is the debut, but I've been
Love
quite
it.
active in the comments. It doesn't feel like, I'm here for the first time. It's like, I know you guys pretty well.
Yeah, well, that's why I know you're going to put in a solid 9 out of 10, at least, my man. A Højbjerg like debut, you're going to put in. But where do you want to start? I continue to ask people questions, and is there a certain place you want to start? Do you want me to ask you the question? I mean, where are you feeling?
You can
what's
say
on
you
your
can ask
mind?
me the question, but I must say before I start that after this Champions League qualification, we are really out there in the market, like compared to the last few seasons that we had. We see ourselves linked with some of the really quality players that we were lacking. I mean, in the last transfer market, and even even in the January, I mean, ever, because everybody just loves Champions League football, and as long as it was not there, we were really struggling to get these players, even in our to get linked with them. But now, man, I mean, we just got players like Perisic, and now we are linked with Kostic. Wow, I'm really
Yeah.
excited for the summer. Really,
It's a different type of, you know, it's a different type of summer, full of different
yeah.
rumors, and the fact that we're doing business early for once as well.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I mean, you'll just go to Fabrizio Romano's Twitter. He has like all the most of the transfers that he's talking about these days are actually Spurs transfers, to be honest. I think we are one of those clubs that is out there in the market most to secure a lot of names, and yeah, we are linked with a lot of players, and I'm really excited.
What do
You
you
know
make
what
of
it is as well,
Bastoni?
like,
Oh yeah, sorry, Brian. No, Brian, you
no,
go.
like, what it is as well is, do you know what, this is coming from me. This is the first summer where I'm actually hearing these names and thinking, do you know what, these might happen. It isn't just hearing the name and going, oh, here we go, yep, let's see, and then it falls through. The names that are coming out, and the links obviously with Conte or with Perisic or with the Champions League, it looks like this actually could be a summer where things happen. And you said it with the Champions League. I think the thing with it now is to keep it this way is constantly remaining in the Champions League. It's all about solidifying the top four. But are you feeling that this summer is slightly different and these rumours have got a bit of weight to them?
Yeah, definitely this summer is very different. And I can say that it's due to the two effects. First thing, I think Conte himself is attracting a lot of players due to his style and his ability as a coach. A lot of players really admire him as a gaffer, and they want to play under him really, and they want to learn under him, especially the youngsters. And then the second thing is definitely the Champions League. So yeah, we have that sort of the pull factor in our club right now that is really getting this stuff going on.
There you go. I mean, what have you made of the fact though that like Spurs might be getting their big signing though, the fact of Bastoni, because that is like, you know, it is our number one choice, and I'm not sure how many times have we really gotten our number one choice. You know, can you really say? Like, it's hard to remember. Because even in the case of like Bruno Fernandes, that was like our number one choice. We went for Gio, Jack Grealish, we never got. You know, we have a history of not getting our number one choice. And if we were to get Bastoni, it's still a big if. But if we were, what would that say to you?
Well, then definitely I would say that we are competing for the titles next year. If we get we get our best signing, then yeah, next year we are out there gunning for the Champions League. We are out there. Okay, Champions League, maybe let's not be too optimistic, but definitely I think we are rooting for a trophy next year if we get our best signings, like FA Cup, or I think we might even be targeting like the top 2 next year. And
yeah, I could see us going for something like that. I think you're probably right. And with the fact that Chelsea also have a big war chest that they're working with, do you see us maybe using our war chest better than them? Do you see them investing a lot? Are you worried about them? Because that is the team that we're going to try to, you know, surpass, like you said, for top 3.
Yeah, in fact, actually, Chelsea, I have a very good friend. Actually, he's a Chelsea fan, and then we discuss about them. But I think currently Chelsea is dealing with quite a lot of transfers. A lot of players are going on. Like I think we all know Marcus Alonso is linked with Barcelona. Then they got Rudiger, who is going to Real Madrid, and even I think they have had few offers for Thiago Silva now, even on the table as well. So they are dealing with quite a lot of these big names going out. So definitely they have to bring in those big names in as well. So Chelsea side, yes, definitely we'll face that challenge among there. But I think for Chelsea, it's gonna be a bit of a experiment on top overall with the change of ownership, and now they're changing the management as well and all that. So I guess we are a little bit more on the stable ground compared to Chelsea at the stage where we are right now. And currently, one good thing about us right now is that we are looking at the positions where we really need those players. Like we are looking at the wing backs. I love the fact that actually the first thing that we are targeting is our wing backs, because that's the Antonio Conte style of football. And I remember he emphasized a lot on the wingbacks when I remember the Sessegnon made a pass to Doherty, I think, for one of the goals. And Conte emphasized on it that that's my style of football. And he's really out there in the market hunting for that. And that's really a positive thing.
I'm
And
glad
then
that we're going for the wingbacks first too. And I know Brian too was like, he and I know Brian especially was like, that was the one thing left undone. You could say in the January market was the wingbacks was that one thing for me, Elias, that, and I know it was for Brian too, that maybe that we could have probably touched on that maybe in the January market if we had, you know, the time or the means. I'm not sure which one was which, but I'm glad that you said that we're going after wingbacks first.
It's not just wingbacks; it's centre backs as well. It's
Exactly.
like, right, if we're having open heart or open heart surgery, where do I need to go and attack first to go and cure it and go get it sorted? And Conte, whether that's the Italian in him and their style of play or whatever, or you use the common note that strikers win your games, defences win your championships. You look at like what Peter Shilton and the Man U backline did, or the Filth backline when it was Adams, Bold, or Keown, Dixon, and Winterburn. That's what got them over the line. Or Chelsea with Cole, Carvalho, Terry, and whoever was playing the other position. They addressed that area first, because if you don't score against you, you don't lose. That's as simple as it is. And the fact we're addressing an area that, since we lost Toby and Jan, we've just been replacing with just players that have been at the club until Romero came in. Now it looks like they are attacking where the gaps we need to fill in first, which is the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yep. And one good thing, like you mentioned, we are not just looking for just the center backs. We are looking for the center backs who are very versatile. They can play as center backs and they can also be deployed as wing backs if needed. I mean, I'm really excited. Like Bastoni, he can, I think, play even as a wing back, even if you like have a red card or you get an injury. Yeah, you can deploy these players in like as a left wing back, which is really amazing.
It's a great shout.
It is amazing.
Yep.
And to be fair, I kind of like you. I like that you and Brian are in agreement that, you know, addressing the defense is probably the right way of going about things. Also, maybe sends the right message. Maybe going after the defense first, because that's what we maybe know needs to be addressed. Do you want to take the bottom Duda's super chat with me here, Elias? He's saying,
yeah, I would
would
love
you
to.
like to sign Tolisso on a free? Conte appreciated him during his Inter days. Saw rumors that he was linked with them back then. Thoughts?
There's this one thing about the French midfielders that I am always very careful about them. I don't know, somehow they don't happen to have that kind of attitude.
We're a bit cursed. We're a bit cursed with the words.
I don't know if it's like a French curse on the English clubs. You see the Paul Pogba situation in Manchester United, and then we had our own situation, which was Tanguy and Dombele. I really don't want that
Stambouli.
I really don't want that fella anywhere near the club. So whenever somebody mentions, yeah, we are linked with another French midfielder, okay, let's just not go for that side of football. not to throw any form of shade on the French, but yeah, French midfielders.
We just have bad luck. That it's no harsh feelings.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. No harsh feelings, just bad luck there.
Not being harsh to anybody. We'll take your center backs. We'll take your wing backs, but no midfielders.
Brian, do you agree? Do you think we're cursed in the French midfield department?
French midfield department. Well, I remember where you look at it. You say David Ginola. We had another one, Stefan Dalmat, who came on loan but was a nutcase, and I loved him. But in recent history, yeah. But to tell you the truth, and this shows I'll be open, I didn't even know, like Bentoncourt when we were on your stream, Jack, I didn't even know Tolisso was French. I don't even know who he is. So I can't really comment on the guy. And
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, exactly. Like with Bentoncourt. But if he turns out to be like Bentoncourt, and I didn't know Bentoncourt, then hell yeah. But
I would say, to help you maybe out a bit here, Brian, for me, and maybe to also answer to Bottom Duda here, and apologies for not getting to this soon enough to Bottom Duda. It's just, the guests have had really good things to say, so I did want to honor what they had to say. But I feel like Tolisso is more similar to a Skip and a Højbjerg than he is to a creative midfielder.
Exactly.
Like he's more close to like a hardworking box-to-box sort of midfielder. I don't even know if he's a box-to-box midfielder, but he's more close to that than he is like a creative midfielder, which is kind of what we're kind of going for. And I know Conte still wants, even he said at one stage, he wants like a creative midfielder that can fit into his system. And I'm not sure if Tolisso is the one. But to be fair, though, he just left Bayern. He's available on a free. Maybe you send Papa Matasar out on loan, bring in someone like him. I'm not sure, but
another French person to enter that. Oh, no, is he actually French, or does he represent one of
Senegalese? He's Senegalese.
Okay, sure. So my
close
bad.
though. I mean, to be fair, he's close. I think he might have been.
Okay,
born.
but bringing in a midfielder from France, yeah. I'm going with Elias here. I think we should steer well clear. What is it? I think we've been burnt about 3 times. Let's learn our lesson. Unless we were signing like a peak Zidane, then you're talking a different kettle of fish. But these random French people, and Kudu came from the French league, and G came from the French. Yeah. Elias is bang on right. No French midfielders for me.
Yeah, I mean, even Musa Sissoko, when he came on, we had problems with him even in the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
a good point.
no French midfielders. But one other thing, like I like that Jack made, he's actually the same type of midfielder. I think somebody in the chat also mentioned that Felipe Sergio also said that he's the same type of midfielder as Skip Bentancur or Højbjerg. So I think right now we need someone who is more like Eriksen, Coutinho, that kind of variety.
Very different.
Yeah, very different. Because next year when you have like 5 substitutes allowed, and Conte, I think in his last game, I love this thing about Conte, that even in the last game when he won against Norwich, he was like focusing on the next season. He was concerned about that next season we have to make 5 subs, so we need a variety in that squad where you can actually just send in 5 subs to change the whole game. So we need that form of variety rather than signing all the same sort of players.
I completely agree with that. And to be fair, that probably then maybe, even though we've been doing business very early, probably kicks strategy further into gear if we have 5 signings that we have to be using next season. You're absolutely right, Elias. And
in fact, even I would
bring in more than we need to bring in 6 players if we're going to use 5 signings.
Exactly. In fact, I would say that don't sell Bergwijn, or don't sell even if possible, I would not like to see actually Sergio Reguilon go to Real Madrid. He is still a youngster who can still be groomed very well under an experienced player like the one we are getting in the form of Perisic. We need these players, and as much as possible, I think we should keep even him, and even Emerson. I think we shouldn't sell him. We should keep them. We really need quality and quantity in the squad next season.
I agree. Final question of the evening. Signing of the season.
I know there were a lot of Christian Romero fans here, but does Antonio Conte count as a signing of the season?
Go for it, my man. Go for it.
Or if you were to ask me for particularly a player, I'll say Kulusevski.
Okay, 2 for Kulusevski then.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, Christian Romero has been good, and he has been great. In fact, I mean, I'll definitely rank him as the second best signing of the season after Kulusevski. But Kulusevski has just given us that something that we needed in our attack for a long time. I think under Mourinho and Nuno, we kind of lost that touch that we had in our attack, and we needed that. And Kulusevski has just brought in. I mean, I watched that show that we did with another Arsenal fan, and he was like, "No, Bukayo Saka is definitely better than Kulusevski." Nonsense. I mean, definitely that guy is way, way, way better than Bukayo Saka. I mean, you look at
like that.
If you are an Arsenal fan and you are here, please burn. And you can get that burn, but definitely Kulusevski is way better than Bukayo Saka. Is a no-brainer, definitely. Is a no-brainer.
Love
contributions in Premier League just says it all.
Yeah.
Versus Bukayo Saka. Yeah.
And he's sort of, become into that right wing position, which a lot of people have really struggled with. Bergwijn has struggled with it. Lucas has kind of always struggled with, really satisfying us in that sort of position. And finally, we have one in Kulusevski. I think that's a really good shout. And I'm glad, as much as I love hearing the Romero praise, it's good to see someone go for something a bit different there, Elias.
Yeah, ginger from Sweden.
The ginger from Sweden, exactly right, my man. Incredible debut, Elias, and I'm really looking forward to catching you on next time.
See you.
Thanks, Elias. It was great speaking with you, buddy.
Catch you, brother.
Nice
We'll catch you on next
too.
time, and we'll put out the link nice and early if you're able to make it, because that way, you don't have to be up so late in the evening, and maybe we can get you on a bit early. But really appreciate you, Elias, and we'll catch you on next time, my man.
We'll catch up with you. Thanks.
Catch up, Elias. Bye. Well, there you are, everybody. And that went from the regulars to the debut. And I must say a 9 out of 10 debut, like I anticipated, like I expected. Just making sure I got my list here so I don't skip anybody. We have the Daddy Højbjerg coming on next. But this time he's Daddy Perisic. How we doing, Daniel?
I'm good. Nice to see you, Jack and Brian.
Nice to see you, Daniel. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Nice to see. It's nice to be a Spurs fan nowadays.
You happy with all the itches that we're being linked with, my man?
Yeah, I'm still hoping for Kostic as well.
Yeah,
I gotta say,
you're a big fan of him.
Yeah.
Do people see? Seriously, do you see it happening with? Do we realistically, and that's the people in the chat as well, do we really see us getting 2 left wing backs? If we do, we do. I personally just can't see. I can't see it happening with everyone we're bringing in. As much as I'd love him because he looks sensational, I just don't think it will happen.
Daniel?
Yeah, I think it's unlikely to happen now. I think so. We could still, but I don't think it's priority now, of course.
Do you feel like I don't know, because if we were to bring in 2 left wing backs, that would mean we need to get rid of Reguilón probably. And I actually see us getting rid of Reguilón. I actually see him leaving this summer. But even if we were to get rid of him, Brian and Daniel, I'll ask both of you, do you see us getting another left wing back even if we got rid of Reguilón? It's hard to imagine. Even that's hard to imagine. Yeah, even that's hard to imagine. Like knowing how our club operates, we're not usually that sort of club. We love to leave a hole just a bit, leaking. We love to leave something, open.
It's unlikely because Sessegnon has been so good recently, and I think Conte is a big fan of him. So of course I think it's good to be an understudy, of course, especially to someone like Perisic.
Yeah, you know what? Up until now, I've been a big fan of Sessegnon. I've been on channel saying it, and I was happy that he got his run out. But then I got the news again today, and we all heard he's injured again. So he's had to withdraw from the England under 21s, I think it is. And it's just like, do you know what? As much as I love him and want to get success, in all honesty, the way I'm looking at it as well, this injury he may have had may be a blessing, like it was for what I deem Trent Alexander-Arnold not going to the Euros, because he's had a wonderful season for Liverpool. He's come back. He's worked on his defending, but we've got to address this Reguilón issue. We've got to address it and find out if there's a way to solve this, or because he played 4 or 5 games back to back after.
We can't have both of them be a sick note. We can't
exactly. We can't have him play 4 games, then you're injured. 4 games, then you're injured. We at some point, like we said with the Deadwood, and I don't want to call Sessegnon Deadwood, so I've got a lot of faith in him and really want him to become good. But if you keep playing and then getting injured so easily, you're going to become Deadwood. And where we're going to try and go, Perisic, we know, has got the durability and the fitness and whatever. But you need to have some game management in games and say, right, you need a rest or you're coming off, whatever. And if Reguilón Sessegnon keeps getting injured, we've got to sort out. What I will say in response to Elias is Reguilón, bye-bye. I cannot wait to see the back of him. I cannot wait. I can't, honestly, like I've been saying, if we're playing a back 4, I think he's better than Sessegnon. I think at left back, he has got the potential to be a great player.
Yeah.
But listen, under Conte, under Mourinho, we would have been playing a back 4. Under Conte, we are not playing a back 4. And if we do, it's going to be the odd game here or during a game to make that tweak. And I don't want it. I don't see him fitting in the team. And when he has played left wing back, he's been shambolic. So I'm going to let you carry on, Jack. I just need to go washroom. I'll be right back.
No. Feel free, and he raised a really good point there, Daniel. I'm actually a bit worried, though. If Perisic were to be the only fit left wing back next season, that would kind of worry me because I agree with what he said about Reguilón, but Sessegnon also really struggles to stay fit. And, you could probably imagine Sessegnon being out for, a month or something like that, and then Perisic being the only fit wing back. That could hurt us.
That's a huge issue, especially if Perisic. I mean, his age. I only don't look at his age. He plays like he's 25, so I don't want to look at that. But of course, you can't be the only fit left wing back.
You just don't want to go another summer where we only have one fit wing back.
Yeah, it's such a huge, important position as well. It is, like Elias said, it is the most important positions in a Conte system. So
I agree.
If that's the case, especially if this new injury is a hamstring again, then there is a big issue.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you work with that, to be honest.
Well, especially in his position, Daniel, because the wing backs have got to get forward and back, and it's pace and power and getting up there. And like Michael Owen had with his hamstrings, once your hamstring goes and it keeps going, that pace that you did have very quickly does not become pace anymore. And it's a huge
amount of ground that they have to cover.
Well, then you look at it, Jack, as well, and I've said this as well. Sessegnon at Fulham used to get the ball and run, gets the byline cross. If you see at Spurs, he's running and to get into good positions, but he's checking in a lot. And I think he's got to that point where he's a bit worried that if he overdoes it, his hamstring's going to go. And if it's got into him mentally as well,
he said that even in an interview. You're like spot on, Brian. He even said in an interview, like even at his age, he's worried about straining himself too much in certain situations.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about for someone hit that young, being that worried already. It's I don't know. It does concern me, but maybe we can talk about, other than the left wing backs, we were just having really good conversations with Elias about the creative midfielders. I mean, who would you go for that creative midfielder? Because I like Tolisso, like maybe Bottom Duda brought up, but I think we need to go for someone that's really different from Daddy Højbjerg.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard because I haven't really seen us linked with anyone. Except for Eriksen.
Yeah, except for Eriksen, you're right.
So I don't know. I mean,
are you an Eriksen fan? Would you be happy to take him back, or are you kind of worried that what it says about taking him back?
The thing about Eriksen and with Bale, it's like going back to your ex-girlfriend. You shouldn't do it, really.
You think we're better than that? We're better than that, Daniel?
It's a little. Come on now. But of course, I rate him highly. But I think we should be looking at others first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so hard when you don't see us linked with anyone.
So the thing is, you got to look at it. If Eriksen comes back, I think there's two sets of fans. The way the fans look at it, there's the fans that will be like me, that think, well, in the last 18 months, you weren't the player that you were, and there was obviously some issues there. Period. Whether it was with the club or he just wanted out. And then you've got another half of people, and that half will be like, you're going to have to work damn hard to get me to be confident in you again and happy in you and delighted. And then you've got the other half that will just be like, yes, we got Eriksen back. And this is where I think if we sign him, there's going to be a 50-50, or not dead on 50-50. Big up, brother. But I think there's going to be a split with people saying, yeah, and I will be one of them. They'll be like, you're going to have to really show me that you're here to mean business because you really let us down before the end. And then, obviously, hopefully he'll do that. And I'll be like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, Eriksen, you're the man. But then there's going to be other people that will be like that straight away and forget everything. And it'll just be interesting to see the reaction if it does happen.
Yeah.
Where would you be on that, Daniel? Would you be on the yes, we signed Eriksen, or would you be on the other half where it's like, right, you're gonna have to work damn hard to convince me?
It's so 50-50 for me, to be honest.
So yeah, 50-50 on the 50-50.
Yeah. No.
He doesn't want to be caught, He doesn't want to be caught, this Daniel. He doesn't like, he doesn't want to put his foot anywhere, when it comes to it.
No, but nah. I wouldn't be too disappointed, I guess.
Okay.
Gio was sold for 18 million euros. I feel like you weren't a fan of Gio, if I remember.
No, he couldn't pass sideways. And he couldn't even pass sideways or backwards, couldn't take corners, couldn't do anything. Even I thought it was worse than Wings, to be honest. And that's saying something. I thought it was... Wow. No, I actually think so. I think it's worse than Wings. And he needs to...
So he's been evaluated at 20 million euros, and Winks has also been evaluated at 20 million euros. Do you think that's accurate? You think Winks is same evaluation as Gio?
I wouldn't.
You would pay more for Winks. Maybe I'm going to ask a dangerous question.
No,
would you pay more for Winks?
No, I don't. No, listen.
We're going to draw him out of the 50-50 here, Brian. We're going to scare him.
Yeah, we're going to try to get out of the 50-50. Try to get it back up.
Who would you take, Winks or Gio? Yes. That's a good question.
I'd rather.
It sounds like you're happy to see him go, though.
Yeah, just go. I don't want to see you again. Goodbye.
You are the
and then
weakest
with Winks, is it possible to see him go? It feels like it's been impossible to sell him. Do you think Spurs will sell him?
Oh, yes. We better. I swear to God. Can't have him now. You can't have him in the second season with Antonio Conte and have him there still. And Conte have to see him sitting there in the changing room. Like, why are you still here? So...
What we got to look at as well, we're all talking about, obviously, we want Winks out, we want Celso out, we want Ndombele out, we want Hill out, or Hill maybe going. That's 4 midfielders that are currently there that you need to replace. Not strengthen on, you need to replace, plus strength in depth, plus 5 subs. So I can see Winks and Celso going, but I don't think we're going to get Ndombele out unless it's on loan. Brian Hill will probably be another loan, but again, they need replacing, especially with 5 subs.
Yeah, the 5 subs. Oh, God.
This is where I talk about, like Jack at the beginning with the Jed Spence. This is where, when you look at it that way, a player may need to come in at that amount.
Yeah.
So we can focus on the people that are coming out and we need proper replacements.
Yeah. God.
Tough questions he's asking us, Daniel.
It
seems like we're leaving you. It seems like we're leaving you a bit taken aback. So maybe I'll leave you with a good one to finish on. Signing of the season. Do you want to finish with that, my man?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I want to say something as well.
Say something. Tell me. Yeah.
I remember like when Pochettino was here, he asked for Schneiderlin, he got Stambouli. When Mourinho was here, he asked for Ruben Diaz and Skriniar, he got Joe Rodon. Now Conte is here, he asked for Perisic, he gets Perisic. So that's why I'm so hopeful now, because it seems like stuff he's getting his plan A. Even Bastoni now. If
that's the one, Daniel. Yeah. That's the one for me. For me to think, right, here we are, we're going places, is when you put real money down, not free transfer and wages.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Perisic is still a great signing. And it's, like you said, he wants him, he got him, but it was a free transfer.
It's the one where
I think if Bastoni comes in this week or next week, then I'm like, right, do you know what? Yeah. He's put the money where the mouth is. And then we see. That's the one that will get me, like, I agree. Excitement overload.
I agree.
And signing of the season is for me Kulusevski, I gotta say.
They're creeping up. The Kulus.
And the Kulus catching up to Romero.
I mean, I love, of course, Romero is gonna, like, I love him so much, but I just think Kulusevski, the way he changed, like, the season, I think it's changed the season when he came in. I gotta say.
So in the attack, in the goals, like, and what sort of way?
Yeah, in everything really, in goals, assists, especially assists. But he also, for me, improved Sonny. I think he improved Sonny as a player.
Yep.
And even Kane, maybe.
He at least, helped them out a lot. At least helped them out. Definitely, Daniel. Well, look, my man, absolute pleasure as always, brother. Looking forward to speaking to you next week. Hopefully we'll have that Bastoni one to be talking about, my man, and we'll be even more optimistic and even more hopeful for the season.
Yes.
Come on, Daniel.
Yeah, you too, Brian. Take care, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Catch you, Daniel. Thanks for your patience, and we'll talk to you next time, my man.
Goodbye.
Gotcha. There you are, Daniel, Daddy Højbjerg, all the way out in Norway. Just keep plowing on. Plenty more to get through. We're going to keep grinding. Everybody, please. Actually, I'm going to take a bit of a moment here. Everybody, go on over to Tottenham on Tour if you haven't already. I think we have close to 300 in the house at this stage, so I'm definitely sure there are probably a few new ones to this building, as well as there definitely could be a few new ones to Tottenham on Tour. Brian is putting in a huge shift today, everybody. So head on over to Tottenham on Tour, where you can definitely find more of him. You can also find the bun there, find Brian Ireland, his compatriot, his compatriot now in Canada. Yep. I was about to correct myself, but never mind. And then also Adam Clark, of course.
There's loads of new content coming out from us. over the summer. We're really going to up our game. But one thing that we are going to be doing, and Brian Ireland is going to be putting the video together today. Me, Bobby Kay from the Three Spurs Boys, and Brad Matthews yesterday took a lads trip to Niagara, and we've done a complete vlog of our journey, going on the boat ride and the view and talking Tottenham. So that should be coming out tonight, as in early hours of the morning UK time, or midnight-ish UK time, or first thing tomorrow. So there's loads of stuff coming up from us. Keep an eye out. But yeah, thank you for the support that everyone gives. And if anyone does come over, thank you very much. It means a lot to us.
Everybody, head on over there. Hit that big red button. Honestly, doesn't cost you anything because Brian is putting in a huge shift today. So show him the support that he deserves. But there you are, everybody. Tottenham on tour. There's the link there. Jason Bell with the super chat saying, signing of the season, Bentancur. He solidified the midfield and let everyone else thrive. Otherwise, it's Winks for the last 22 games. Fuck my life. I've been keeping very quiet on this, but Jason, I said the exact same thing last night. I mean, I completely agree with you word for word. And in fact, I wish I put it as efficiently as you just did here, Jason, than I did last night. It took me a while to explain myself, but exactly. It's not like Bentancur even played better than Kulusevski or even played better than Romero. He was just such a crucial signing because with the benefit of hindsight, Jason, we didn't know that Skip was actually going to be out for the rest of the season. And so when you really do look at it from January onwards, it would have been Winks for the rest of the season had we not signed Bentancur. So despite Bentancur probably not playing as consistently well as maybe Kulusevski or Romero did, I feel like he was more of a crucial signing because we would have been destroyed had it been Winks, and we wouldn't have gotten top four. I mean, for certain, had it been Winks. And I think even Sean said the other day, maybe we could have got top four with Lucas. Like maybe, with Sanchez, probably not, but maybe with Winks, you just know for certain, like we were not getting top four if he was in the midfield for the rest of the season. So as much as Bentancur wasn't as flashy as the rest of them, I think he was actually the more, crucial signing. So Jason, complete agreement, my man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just with Adam Phillip has basically said exactly what I feel and think. He's no Moussa Dembele, but it's what we've missed since Moussa Dembele. It's bang on the money. Listen, again, famously, Jack, when Matt Hayes came on the show of yours and David's, and I said, I don't know who this guy is, where he's from, what position. I didn't know a lot about him at all. I've been very impressed with him. The one thing I think he's got to stop doing is I think he thinks he gets a bit more time on the ball like he does in Italy when he's in like outside our area or whatever. And he holds onto the ball a couple of times way too long and gives away possession. But that's something he will work on. That's just adjusting from the Italian league to the England game. Mm-hmm. What he was brought into is to get the ball, put a bit of a barrier in front of the defence and get the ball moving forward and actually going forward. So what he's done there, he's done very, very well. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing more. But what Adam Phillips said about Dembele is bang on the money. Bang on the money.
I'm so glad you called that out, Brian, because I actually would have missed that comment, and I could not agree more. And Jason Bell, like even Adam helped us out there. I think a lot of people do agree with you. A lot of people kind of feel very, very similarly. But let's keep plowing on. Really appreciate support, Jason. But we are going to bring on the next guest. Just let me make sure I'm getting my list right. We have Amir. Looking forward to this. Amir, how we doing? The king. And also, I think the trademark maybe for the Woolwich Wasters. I believe, on that one. I mean, let's just start with that, just because I know that nickname and that title was brilliant. I mean, how good does it feel to be proven right on that with the Woolwich?
Listen, I loved every single minute of it. That Newcastle game, I think that was my highlight of the whole season. Just seeing them go up there and absolutely bottle it. It was all in their hands, and now I hear them, oh, it's not a failure. Oh, it's not this and that. They're deluding themselves. They're completely off their rockers.
I love it, Amir. Great start, my man. Great start. I mean, what are your thoughts, though? The fact that now that we finished fourth, I mean, we're being rumored with all these unbelievable players. We haven't actually signed them yet. Let's be honest. These unbelievable players. But I mean, what are your thoughts about the summer? Is it going to be a good summer? Is it a different summer? Maybe is what I'm asking than usual. Is there something different in the air?
Well, we live in hope. We live in hope, Jack. And if we do see over the next couple of weeks some big signings come through for us, then I think we can really start to get excited about the new season, and that there's been a change in our policy. As well as bringing players in, we also need to deal with the fact that we've got some players on the books that we just need rid of. The likes of Ndombele, I think that is key. I heard Celso maybe is on his way out, or that he's gone, so that also is a very big positive. The situation with Winky, of course, needs to be dealt with. So.
What have you been watching enough? Because William Kelly, I actually had a feeling, Amir. William Kelly, he started out pretending. He started out as a Winky, hater like the rest of us, but he's become a Winky lover in my eyes. I don't know if you've caught on to that, because he's been trying to joke with Dave, saying bring Winky on. He started doing it so much that it seems like he developed a soft spot for Winks. It's a slippery slope.
It is. It's a slippery slope indeed. But look, to be fair to the young lad, he should have moved on a few years ago and found himself a new club to do the business, because his career is only stalling. There is some talent in there, of course there is. It's just that we're not the right club for him. We're going to be pushing on for trophies next season, and he's just not at that level, unfortunately.
I mean,
20 million euros.
One thing I want to say to you: July the 30th, I might. There's a chance.
Hang about.
There's a chance.
Touching down in Israel.
There's a chance. It's like it's going to happen. There's a slim. I'm working on it. Bending the wife's arms. There's a slim chance it could be happening.
Listen, if I can help twist it even more, you've got a room waiting here. So if you need a place to stay, you're welcome. Anytime.
We'll speak.
So yeah, the door's always open for Dave, and for you, Jack, of course, as well.
Oh no, believe me, my man, believe me, there will be. I'm not passing through this life without being in Israel. Believe me, my man, believe me, that'd be crazy. Especially with how long we were talking about food that one time. We almost probably missed our cue in line with We Were Time TV. We were talking about food so much, But I mean, getting back to the football though. I mean, with Winks though, just quickly, 20 million euro evaluation. Thoughts on that? Is that realistic? I mean, what do you think?
Well, look, the guy does have some CL experience, and he's been there and done that in the Prem for a while. Obviously, he hasn't been in the team. He hasn't had that much first team in the last couple of years. But I think he's a player that could do all right at, your Nottingham Forests coming up, and your Fulhams, and your, these kind of teams that need a bit more Premiership experience. I think he could do all right. So 20, we'll be lucky to get 20. But anywhere in that region, 16 to 20, I think we send him on his way. Thank you very much, and hopefully you can learn to pass the ball forwards at your next club, and not just sideways.
Something that was maybe missed in the training, at one stage. You're probably right, Amir.
I don't know.
Brian, I've been hogging all the questions. I apologize.
I mean,
do you have one?
Yeah, I mean, I've been asking them again. If you had your chance, forget the players that we have been rumoured with. Forget those. You've got a chance, and it's got to be realistic, obviously. Where do you see position or player? If you have a player in mind that for you will be like, this guy is perfect for this position at the club and is gettable.
So I think here we've got a bit of a disagreement, Daigle, to be honest. I would get Eriksen in straight away for a couple of reasons. He already knows the club. He already knows the team. He already, he can link up well with Kane, with Song, Højbjerg from the Danish national team. And if you cast your mind back to before we got in Kulu and Bentancur, we were finding it very hard to unlock teams that low block. It was really causing us problems. And Eriksen coming in, I think he can unlock that key, and set piece specialist as well. And worked under Conte as well.
Well, you know what it is here as well with this. If we were going 3-5-2, I would be a lot more open to it, a lot more, because you'd have the two and he'd be able to do that. But we've seen that 3-4-3 is his default, and he won't. I don't think he can play in that position. Or he probably can play it, he just won't play well in that position. He has to be part of a three-man midfield. That's why I think I'm a little bit more. I don't want him because I can't see us playing three in midfield. If there's three in midfield, definite. But can you see him playing in a two?
I can't really see him playing in a two consistently, but I can see him being there for Conte if we need to change things round in a game and he's seeing that the tactics aren't working, then I think, Christian can definitely slot in and do the business. And I think Ellie was saying as well earlier, that he did sit on the bench a bit at Inter, and then when they won the league, he came in, he played a lot more and he was scoring and he was assisting. And what a story it would be for him after the tragedy that he had, and many of us were watching that day, for him to come back to Spurs and really push and bring back those glory days, get that trophy next season with Conte. I think it's it's a real Cinderella story, to be honest. And apart from Eriksen, I'm kind of look, when it comes to defenders, we need, Rocks, we need that Bastoni, we need Kostic, we need players along those lines to come in here and make sure that our defense is top notch for next season. But I do also think that we need kind of, whatever you want to call it, if it's a second striker, if it's a backup striker, whatever you kind of want to call it, just in case, Kane gets injured, all the big clubs have someone that can come in, fill in, and bang in the goals. So we should definitely be looking at bringing someone in. Maybe somebody like Rashford would also help, with the homegrown quota, and he can.
That's kind of cheeky. That was a bit cheeky. A Rashford signing. That's kind of interesting.
Why not? Why not?
That.
And he needs,
because people are saying Sterling. Like, we have been linked with Sterling, but would you rather have Rashford?
Look, younger, much younger than Sterling. I'm not sure about Sterling, to be honest. Even though if Conte wants him, obviously bring him in. But I've never been too keen on the guy. I think Rashford has a lot more to offer in the long term.
Probably.
And
that's interesting.
If we can get
to change his scenery.
Completely agree with Rashford. If you look when he was on his peak with Man United, whether it was when he's playing under Louis van Gaal or at the start of Ole, if his head's in the right place, he's devastating. The pace, do you know what? I think that's a great shout. But it's whether he'll come to play second string or the lack of games. But do you know what? If I had the choice, Rashford or Sterling, I'm choosing Rashford. I mean, one of the guys I harped on about was the player we're not going to talk about that got into a lot of trouble at United, the younger one. I would have taken him all day long before all that controversy. But Rashford, I'd happily take at Spurs. I think under Conte could get his form back, his happiness back. That's a great shout. I mean, I think.
Thank you. Thanks, Daigo. And yeah, I think he fits the ethos of the club. We know all the stuff that he does off the pitch, with the free school meals and all that kind of stuff. It really fits the ethos of the club. And if, like you said, we can focus his kind of time and his abilities on the pitch, then I really think he can rejuvenate his career and bring back those glory days, because United are in turmoil. He doesn't want to stay up there. He should come down to London and give it a shot at Spurs in the best stadium in the world,
Yeah, I think it's just like an interesting shout. It's like very outside the box sort of player that I don't know if I ever see happening, but it kind of sort of makes sense for both parties. Like, to be fair, like, it's not one of those transfers that would ever happen, but it makes sense, if you know what I mean by that.
Never say never. Never say never. You know what will happen. Just when you think, like, everything that's happening right now, it's like all our dreams and Christmases and birthdays have been wrapped into one. So let's try, whilst we can, let's try and dream the dream. And think, I mean, he would be, he can play on the left if Son needs to go central if Kane gets injured, or play centre. I think I heard Ten Hag say he wants to play more central, so it may be hard to get him out. But I'm here. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I love that shout.
Yeah, me as well. Just quickly, what are your thoughts on the Jed Spence, kind of player? Do you rate him? What are your thoughts on it?
Look, to be honest, I saw him play against us in the cup, and I've seen the bits and bobs of him in the playoffs and whatnot, and he looks good. He looks good in the championship. He's obviously very talented. I just don't think that it's not Conte's style to bring in somebody that isn't experienced. He hasn't played in a big league. I just don't think it would suit. It could be one of those, Jack Clark type. We bring someone in and it goes nowhere. So I think that's a no-go for us, really, the whole Spence thing.
I know what you mean. Signing of the season, Amir. Last question, my man.
It's so tough, isn't it? That's the toughest one. That's the toughest question of all, because
are you closing the gap or are you extending the lead?
I think I'm going to close the gap, and no. I'll tell you why. Daigle, because if you think when Romero was out, we were still doing all right without Romero. When Kulu came in, he changed that attack. He gave a whole new dimension. And if you're looking at the goals he scored, the assists that he's provided, unbelievable. And this kid's so young, and his ceiling is really, really high, and I think he's only going to go and develop more and more from here. And I can really, really see him being a superstar, to be honest. Our ginger from Sweden. That. So yeah, I'm delighted about him, and obviously Bentancur, fantastic as well there. But I think Kulu just edges it.
I like it. Closing the gap. No longer minding the gap. We're closing the gap. I like it, my man. Tell us a bit about your channel, my man. Tell us a bit about your podcast.
Incredible channel.
Thanks, Daigle. Thank you, Jack. It's called the Open Peace Podcast, and it would be fantastic if we could get the whole of the Harris Army, the Flat Cap Army, behind what I'm trying to do. I have a team of Israelis and Palestinian together. We get all sorts of different people from over here on the show, and we try to figure out how we can, create a more peaceful environment over here, but not just over here, also in the world. We're seeing wars rage in Ethiopia, in Yemen, Russia, Ukraine. I mean, the list goes on. I haven't even mentioned Libya. It goes on and on and on. And I think, in 2022, it's about time that we start working on a more peaceful environment for our children to grow up in. So it'd be fantastic if if people go over, check it out, give it a listen, see what we're doing over there, and that'd be really fantastic. Really appreciated from all the heart.
Here's what I would say, and I know Brian probably wants to say something too, but here's what I would say. Amir, I love listening to Amir. He has hilarious things to say when it comes to football. He's clearly a very well-spoken guy. Clearly, he's a very smart guy as well. So I would imagine when it comes to this podcast, when it comes to these topics, he's a fantastic person to listen to. And I assume he puts together some great panels, some great minds for very, very interesting but serious topics. And I think Amir is certainly a good candidate for it. So just show him the support. Also, just a fellow Spurs fan. That's another reason. Just a fellow Spurs fan. Show him that support. But I love Amir, love what he has to say on this channel. So I know for a reason he has good things to say when it comes to other matters as well.
Let me just piggyback off that, Jack. Now, obviously, Amir is in a country that obviously is very close to my heart, and Israel being Jewish and everything. And I become very good friends with Amir. We speak regularly. I've had the joy and the honour of being on this podcast, but I actually had the joy of meeting him because when I was back in England for Bob, he was back in England and he was actually living, here I am in Canada, there he is in Israel, and he was living 5 minutes down the road from me, of all places. So I finally got to meet him. Listen, what he's trying to do, as he said, there's so much bad in the world, and right now, obviously, I've kept my eyes on what's going on in Israel. There's obviously what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, and all the things he said. And what he's trying to do is nothing short of heroic, in my opinion, because there's people out there that say they want to try and do something or think they can't make a difference. Well, Amir is trying to make a difference, and like I said, being on that podcast was amazing. Whenever you need me, I've said this before, Amir, any time of day, I don't give a monkey's. I am there. But everyone check it out because It's not just about what's going on in the world. They speak about how to solve it. They bring football into it. So it's not just it's all about war and how to stop it. It's not. It's so much more. But the objective is to get a larger audience to come together and hopefully make a difference. And Amir is right at the centre of that. So please, everyone, give it a like because you won't regret it.
Thanks so much, Daigle, for the kind words, and Jack as well. Really, it means the world to me. And honestly, you know, if step by step we can change minds and get people out of a mentality of hate and into a mentality of peace and love, and just kicking back and watching a bit of football, supporting your team, and just enjoying life. So
there you go. Everybody, there's 2 different links, you know, right there for you, so you can't miss it. Hit that subscribe. Like I said, not only because he has beautiful things to say and he's a very smart guy, but also just because he's a Spurs fan. Show a bit of support for the community, show a bit of support for the people that come on the channel. But Amir, hopefully we'll catch you next week. It's been a while, so hopefully we can catch you a bit more often this summer.
I've been busy. I've been wanting to come on. You know, so tonight my missus was off at a wedding, so I had a free night that I can come on and hop on. So
appreciate you taking the time.
Pleasure to join. Pleasure to join. Laila Tov, Daigle. And let me know if you manage to make it over, Daigle. Honestly, there's a
Mate,
bed
I'm going to be speaking to you when I'm in England, and we'll be speaking a bit. Trust me, we'll do emotion. Good man.
Plans in motion. Get ready to make that bed for the Daigle. The Daigle is landing.
It's ready. It's already ready. All right, guys.
Well, we'll catch you soon,
Take
Amir.
it easy.
Thank
Good
you,
evening,
thank you,
everyone.
my man.
Good evening.
Thanks for your patience. Thanks for coming on, my man. Catch you soon.
Bye.
Catch you, Amir. All right, there it was. I love listening to Amir. I really do. I'm glad he took the time as well to come on. But we're going to keep plowing on. And I think we have, let me check, Michael. We have Michael next. Looking forward to it. Another person with we have so many people with really deep voices, I must say, in there. So for the people coming on. Michael, Daniel, Amir, plenty of people. Michael, how we doing? Might be on mute, brother. Man. Still can't hear you.
Loving those headphones, though. They are banging headphones.
Hello. Brian, I'm just having a weird cough. Yeah, we can hear you. Brian, do you mind giving him the first question? I'm just going to grab it.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, Michael, how are you, brother? It's good seeing you on this channel. I always see you on We Are Tottenham TV when we're talking. It makes a difference. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. Like the period of exams on my uni is coming soon, so you know, perfect time to end the season of football. So right now I can focus mostly on everything uni related, right? But you know, overall, really good. Actually, the funny story before Jack comes back.
Yeah, cool, buddy.
My friend was on a wedding during the weekend, and he left us his cat, and we have a cat of our own, right? And let me say that those guys didn't really like become friends, let's say. So they were acting up throughout the whole night, two nights in a row. So a bit of a sleepless weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but you know, it was kind of funny because they were like doing mad shit, but still, you know, a human has to sleep sometimes, right? So we are not.
I have a question for you. He's been linked with Spurs, never going to happen in a million years. But I want to see if you've got any knowledge from obviously being Polish and where you are. What is going on with Lewandowski? Has he actually? Is he leaving? Has he left? Where does the rumours come up? I keep hearing Barcelona. Where are we with Lewandowski at the moment?
Yeah. So as far as I know, like his contract is coming to an end, right? He has 1 year left of it, and from what I understood, Bayern is in like kind of a dire financial situation. They have to offload some big wage players, and at first it seemed like with all the Barcelona links, Levy tried to somehow convince Bayern to give him a new contract, right? Because you know it's typical when a player wants a new contract. But as far as I know, Bayern in their ruthless nature said like if you want to leave, then just go. and they have a history of doing such things. Like, as far as I'm not really a big Bayern fan, but my friends are, and they say that it happened with a lot of players that they, well, I don't want to say that they don't treat their legends well, because like, let's be serious, Lewandowski is a Bayern legend, he's a Bundesliga legend, right? But I think that it got to a point, I think it was said by some Polish journalists today, that he basically confirmed that he is leaving.
Okay.
He said something along the line that our
I think he just
history is,
asked
and
Bayern to let him go. Even I think he went.
it
that
was.
far.
Is the
Yeah,
Premier League a realistic? Not Tottenham. I'm saying maybe Tottenham, but I don't in a billion years see it. Do you see him Premier League, or is he going La Liga?
Not really, just because there is hardly any team he could fit in. I do well. The only team I could see was perhaps if Ronaldo left United, then maybe United, and if Lukaku left Chelsea. But I still don't think that those two teams are willing to like spend a lot of money on an aging striker. Because let's be honest, even though Levy is my gut, right, and I love him to bits, like all of us do here in Poland. He has like what 2-3 years at best left in him, right? So I do believe that those two clubs will settle on a younger striker. So, and the thing is that in like the first decade of the 20th century, here in Poland, we mostly heard about La Liga teams and Serie A teams. I don't know why, but at least in my generation, those clubs were held in a higher standard, except like United, because we didn't really have access to like Premier League and most other leagues, and the only things that we saw were Champions League and Europa League, and in those competitions often Italian and Spanish teams dominated, right? So of course Levy is a lot older than me, like 7 years, right? But or 8, but still in his mind, I do believe that his like kind of a dream place to go would be Real Madrid or Barcelona, and I have a feeling that he will end up at Barcelona. So that's that. And speaking of Polish players, actually we are linked for a moment with Zieliński from Napoli.
Yeah, Zielinski. He's I really like him because if you know what I mean by the word, like he really has like the techers. He's like really skillful sort of player.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, we're just going to cut in. I'm just going to go to the washroom, but I'm going to log out and then log back in to see if that sorts out so I'll be back in literally 2 minutes.
No problem. Zielinski.
Okay. So the thing with Zieliński, in my opinion, is that it's kind of hard because I don't watch Napoli pretty much at all, like only in some European cups, or sorry, too much cola. So I don't watch Napoli much, and I know from various sources that he really smashes it, or not this season, but in previous seasons he was really like crucial to how Napoli played. But the most I watch him is in our national team, and there he doesn't really perform that well.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't play that well for you guys.
It's kind of that thing that, because we have Lewandowski, and then after him it's like Zieliński, Milik, and a couple of players of that like mediocre, let's say mediocre in Premier League standards, right? Mediocre level. Yeah. And Zieliński is kind of above them, so we all expect him to perform out of his skin, because like
he should be playing better.
He is pretty much our only hope in terms of like bringing world class quality. I'm not saying he's like in the same category as De Bruyne or other center.
I think he's your second best player. He's your second best talented player.
Of course not counting goalkeepers, right? But they can play outfield football. So I do believe that we all want more than he can offer in that environment that he has in our national team. So we Poles kind of have like a sour taste a bit with Zieliński, but I would of course welcome him in Spurs, because I feel, of course, first of all, I would love a Polish player in our club, right? And second of all, I think that he could solve that attacking midfielder problem
He's that
we
creative
have.
midfielder.
Yeah, he's that creative midfielder. And speaking of which, actually, because I've heard you guys talking about Ward-Prowse and Eriksen. Frankly speaking, I'm not really keen on Eriksen. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that it wouldn't go well. I don't know why, because he's one of the players that got me hooked with Spurs, right? And funnily enough, it's because there was one match in, I think it was either World Cup qualifiers or European qualifiers, where Denmark spanked us 4-0 in Copenhagen, sorry. And he scored like a blinder from 25 meters, and he was in a peak Spurs career back then. So that was pretty much the first spark that led me to follow Spurs a bit, right? But I have a feeling that it wouldn't end well. And in terms of James Ward-Prowse, I think, and I don't want this to sound bad, but I think he's a bit overhyped. Just because, like, I even checked his stats on I know stats aren't everything. I do realize that, right? But he has like I think 10 goals and 5 assists, and 4 of those goals were free kicks, 5 penalties, and 1 outfield goal.
Can you take away free kick goals? Can you take away free kick goals though?
Yeah, but what I mean is that I do believe that what we need more is someone who creates like dangerous situations with the ball, not a set piece taker. Even though we need one too, but I think we can substitute set piece takers with other positions. Like, I'm in love with Kostic, and he's a brilliant free kick and corner taker. And he would take that burden of Son and Kane, of course, if he was allowed to, right? And I believe that we should rather focus our central attacking midfielder to be more creative in open play, right?
Do you feel like James Ward-Prowse just isn't really a creative midfielder? Like, he's not really.
It's not that
he just happens to be able to hit free kicks. Like, he can hit free kicks, but he's not really a creative midfielder. Maybe.
Yeah, it's not that he's a bad like attacking midfielder in open play. I just feel like for the money that we have to spend on him, we can do much better in that regard, right? Because let's be honest, with the English tax and like captain tax banked on him, we would have to like pay 60 million, probably something like this. We don't even know how much, right? Because if Southampton said they want 80, nobody could really blame them because he's their star boy, right? And you know that English tax. So I believe that we should like dodge this topic just because of the money. Because I know we technically have a lot of money right now, but actually we haven't spent anything yet. And I would prefer us to spend in other positions. And if we had like a lot of money left, for example, then I would be willing to welcome Ward-Prowse here. But in that case, if we are willing to spend 60 million or 80 million, I would much prefer Milinkovic-Savic or someone of that ilk, because I believe they are much more potent in open play. So,
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Brian, any thoughts, any responses? I mean, I don't know if I think James Ward-Prowse, he's basically just saying like he's not really the midfielder we're really looking for, you know.
So you know how I see it now. Let me get where I'm going with this, because I'm saying a player that's out there now. I'm going to bring, and it's not his build or anything. Now, one of my favourite Tottenham Hotspur players of recent time was a player called Tom Huddleston.
Yeah,
and everyone remember Tom Huddleston. For me, one of the greatest passers of the ball we've had at the club.
Yeah,
and I mean his passing and his shooting was incredible. Yes, he was injured. Yes, he wasn't a playmaker, as in like a Coutinho or a Ginola or a Bow that took on players and did all the skills. And then I see James Ward-Prowse.
He loved to get switch.
He can spread the play. He can create that way, and then obviously his set pieces. Don't get me wrong. I mainly want him for his set pieces. But his spraying of the ball, and every player we sign, or not just us, any player that signs for any club, a coach can improve them, a manager can improve them. And if I look at the attributes that Ward-Prowse has, I think there's enough there to say, yes, all right, there's some people saying he's a one-trick pony. In a Southampton side that have had injuries non-stop, like last year they had like major injury problems. But if you was to say, right, the back, let's just say the back line is Bastoni, Romero, Dyer. Then we've got Perisic and let's say Spence. Then forget the other midfielder. You've got a James Ward-Prowse pinging balls left, right, and centre to a Kulusevski, a Son, and a Kane.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see a much better player that will be much more involved. Don't get me wrong. I know he's got stuff that he needs to work on.
Yeah.
But if you look at the nucleus he's working around and plop James Ward-Prowse in there, then you add his free kicks, you've got a hell of a player potentially. I mean, free kicks and set pieces up there with the best in the world. Don't get me wrong. If we get linked with a player that's better than him, of course I'm going to want him over Ward-Prowse. But out of all the things that we're being linked with, I just think you take that back five, like I said, then that front three, and you think about him pulling the strings and pop. Like Bentancur isn't known for his brilliant passing. Højbjerg isn't known for his superb passing. Ollie Skip has got a bit of a passing range. There's no passing range. You bring in Jake Ward-Prowse, that's done, and you improve on him. But it depends what you want. It depends what you want as a playmaker. Like I said, do you want the playmaker that spreads the ball about and dictates play like a Paul Scholes did? I'm not saying that Ward-Prowse is Scholes. Or do you want the playmaker that's a Coutinho that will come on and just like Edwards said, when Tom Huddleston took a shot, you got out the way. You got out the goddamn way unless you want concussion. But that's where I see James Ward-Prowse. I think other people want to see not a Coutinho player, but one that will take on three players and then just lay off the ball. And that's why I keep saying Ward-Prowse. So I'm looking at what's around him.
Yeah. So, of course, I'm not
really
saying
good
that,
argument there, Brian. I must say, actually, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Of course, I'm not saying that James Ward-Prowse is a one-trick pony, right? That's not. Yeah, he has like brilliant set piece, and his passing range, and his like ability to create play in the midfield, I would say is like good. It's not like the best. It's not very good, and it's not average. I feel like he is better than I would say that his passing range is a bit better than Bentancur's. And I don't think that that's like a bad thing. Bentancur proved that he can like spray a good pass, right? But the only thing that leads me to believe that I wouldn't really want him is the price tag, first of all, and it's mainly price tag actually, because I feel like for the money that we would have to spend on him, there are better players that we could bring that have passing range, have good set piece taking, and are brilliant dribblers, right? Because I don't want another Ndombele in our team, the French flair guy that takes on players, then eats McDonald's and he's fat and can't run for 30 minutes, right? That's not what I'm saying, but I believe that like Milenkovic Savic, for example, I think that his passing range is brilliant. I think that he is just he's just like a puppeteer. Everything works when he has the ball near his feet, right? And I believe that the money that we would have to spend on those two players is similar, and that's why I would much rather prefer him over Ward-Prowse, right? But there is one thing that I want to ask you guys, because in terms of Perisic, right? As far as I remember, for like a good portion of his career, he played on the wing in attacking first, right? So on Stoney's or Kulu's place, right? Like, as I said, I'm in love with Kostic. And would you guys consider playing Perisic in those attacking thirds and him being a sub to Sony or Kulu and bringing Kostic? Because I don't want us to miss on Kostic. Like, I've heard reports today that Frankfurt won 15 million euros for him.
It seems
like that's nothing for the player of his quality, right?
Yeah, it'd be a huge missed opportunity. I'm with you. With Perisic, I see he could probably play as a right wing back. He could play as a left wing back. He could play as a left winger, and he could probably play as a striker as well.
And right winger too, right?
He's played as a striker up top for them in the past. So I don't see how you'd have a problem with it. And people think he's on steroids, so I mean, all the more reason to put him up top as well. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Kostic is still a huge missed opportunity if we weren't to get him. So I would say get Kostic, and then maybe you don't need to get a right wing back because you can get away with maybe playing Perisic out there and then you still have Doherty and Emerson maybe left, and maybe those are the two fullbacks you bring in, or Kostic and Perisic. I don't know.
So let me ask something on this: is Kostic definitely leaving Eintracht Frankfurt this summer?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's definite.
Yeah, he has
So it's
1
not
year
like
left
we
on
could
his
have
contract.
Perisic for a season and then go. He is going this summer.
He's leaving for a transfer fee, and it wouldn't be like a free signing.
Yeah,
either.
Okay, so
like
now
99.9%.
okay, so that part I didn't know. So now it becomes a little bit more urgent. Like he's available. It's a tough. Do you know what? I mean, like you said, with Perisic, is that like you said, you've got the option that he can go forward, he can play left wing back, he can play right wing back. So there are options there. There are options there. Now that you've said, because I honestly, I just asked that question, I didn't know that he is 99. Now I understand why everyone's going, this is a missed opportunity. This is a missed opportunity. Because I thought, how old is he anyway?
29 this year,
He's 29.
I think.
Okay. So yeah, so
he's
that's
he's towards the end of his career, towards the prime of his career.
Yeah, but also he's a kind of a late bloomer, right?
Yeah, he is
like,
a late
you
bloomer.
didn't really hear a lot about him until like
he was
past
at
2 or
Hamburg.
3 years, right? And he like blew up in Frankfurt. And you know, I when I look at his stats, right? Again, stats aren't everything, but I actually watched like 4 to 5 matches of Frankfurt this year, right? Because I watched both legs against Barca. I watched the Europa League final, and I watched like 1 or 2 games in Bundesliga. And like seriously, this guy is like, I think that he's what we are missing. And you know, I don't want to take anything from signing Perisic, because I think it is a brilliant signing. And you know, all those trolls from Arsenal that say that we just wasted our money on the 33-year-old players, it will bite them in the ass when he proves his quality in the Premier League. I'm certain of it, because like he is that man that can fill, as we established, a lot of positions on the field. So I love that. I love that he's versatile. And you know, like stats again, but I think this year in Serie A he registered like his top speed was better than anyone on our team. He was faster than Lucas, than
Kostic's or Perisic's?
Perisic's. Yeah.
Wow.
He was like 33.8 kilometers per hour.
That confirms the steroid, maybe rumor.
Yeah. You know, a bit of action in the asset. You know, if he goes.
Yeah, would explain it.
But
I think Bobspur is going to have some theories about that, because he and I have some theories about his hair, which we'll talk about later. But
yeah, but
sorry, but
you know, also one thing that I'm a bit concerned about this whole Bastoni situation, because like it all was going pretty well, and suddenly now we are hearing like a bit of doubt. But I don't feel like we should really get down if we don't manage to land him, just because I feel like there is plenty of other like top class left center backs that we could probably go for. Of course, it depends on the money and etc. And of course, Bastoni is like my dream come true, and I would love him in our team. But if it doesn't happen, like you know, there is Lisandro Martinez from Ajax. There is Guardiola, of course, although he would be really hard to get. Like as far as I know, Botsman isn't confirmed to Milan yet, so you know, there is a chance to maybe like fuck around there. And you know, I believe that there is plenty of players that we could possibly go for. So you know, it's not a tragedy, right? If it doesn't,
it wouldn't be a tragedy if we didn't get Bastoni. I agree, and I was actually asked that by Bottom Duda. You know, who would we go for if Gvardiol and Torres weren't even available either? I still think there are plenty of options out there. Plenty from the Bundesliga, plenty from the Serie A. I think I said like Ndika you could go for. Bastoni still out there.
Yeah, Ndika from Frankfurt also, he was really good in
there's
Europa
still
League.
plenty. I'm with you. There's still plenty out there. But before you go, Michael, I'm gonna need your signing of the season. Is it even right now, Brian? You know, I don't
know. I think he may have the casting vote now, Michael.
We'll need to go through all the
we should have done a tally, Jack. We should have done a tally.
That's on me. But Michael, I think if you were to guess Kulu, I'm going to say that evens it.
Okay. But if you say
not
Romero,
pressuring you, though. Not pressuring. You know, who do you want to go for? Bentancur, Romero, or Kulu?
So
or an Emerson fan. Maybe you're an Emerson.
Yeah, no. No. By the way, speaking of Emerson too, because there is rumors that we are offloading him, right? But I think that we will, just because I just checked. Doherty is a homegrown player, so he fills that quota. So I don't believe that we'll get rid of him.
Emerson
even if
is easier to move on.
Yeah, Emerson is much easier to move on. But coming back to your question, I guess I could spoil your fun and say Bentancur, but let me say that, like, I believe that if any of those three players wasn't there, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Like, if Romero wasn't there from the beginning of the season, we wouldn't be at fourth. If Kulu wasn't there, we wouldn't be there, and if Bentancur wasn't there, we wouldn't be at fourth. And just because of like the lack of recognition that he got recently, I will say Bentancur probably, and that's mostly because of the circumstance that we were in fact that Skip was injured, right? And let's just imagine the horror we would get through if we had like 4 months of Winky playing in the midfield with Højbjerg. Like, I do believe that if Winks was playing there instead of Bentancur, we would probably want Højbjerg out right now, because everyone for some reason scapegoats Højbjerg for what happens with Winks, right? So, like, no, okay, let me reiterate. I will say Kulu, but a really big honorable mention to Bentancur, because I feel like he gets recognition, but not enough of it, in my opinion, because he was like crucial to solidifying that midfield, in my opinion. So
I have to say, I don't understand why when people are saying Kulu, I'm going like this, like it's a travesty.
I've actually
I really know it's just because of this poll. I'm kind of like,
got something on the line. He's already made a bet on it. He's made a bet on it.
That's what we should have done.
Yeah.
There you go.
Michael,
I
one thing quickly on Spence, I get a Sessegnon vibe from him, like the failed Sessegnon. I'm not sold on him yet. Of course, he can like.
That does mean Conte would love him though, because Conte loves Sessegnon. So maybe
technically yes, right? But I'm not really convinced that much by him. But I'm open to him coming if we get all the positions sorted. So, like, I don't want him to be our priority. I want us to like secure a striker, a left center back, a midfielder, and only then go for him, right? And
I'm with you. I'm with you there. All right. Well, Michael, pleasure as always. Like Ian Ferguson,
pleasure, guys.
We're getting like a good crew. We're getting a good crew of consistent people, coming on, and of course we have Brad Matthews, Philip, Daigle himself, and Chris, and plenty of people and Ellie that always come on, but we're getting like a new crew that's very consistent, and I appreciate you coming on all the time, my man.
I just have to say, Michael, as well, I'll probably be seeing you on We Are Tottenham TV in the very, very near future, because whilst Ben's away, I will be sitting in Ben's chair. So I look forward to speaking with you when I'm back in England via We Are Tottenham TV, buddy.
Yes, of course, I will be there, Brian.
Look forward to it, my man.
Okay.
Love it. All right, Michael. Enjoy your evening, my man. And we'll catch you next week, my man. We'll catch you.
Catch you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon, brother. There we go. And we have a new host. Everybody, big up Michael in the comments. Everybody, big up Michael in the comments. Absolutely top-notch conversation, and is really good for the transfer conversations, Michael is. But we have a new host to help us join, and then he has definitely a good thing to plug at the end for sure. But we do have a host that is joining us, and maybe when I get him on here,
Billy Wave, that's what we do.
I nearly put that last comment to Danny in private on the actual chat, which would have been a bit weird, but
well, can I ask you a weird question though, Bob? Because I saw, we were talking about Perisic, and everybody's so excited about the signing, but like you and I have been, a bit concerned. Steroids maybe seem to be something with him, and also that hairline, with him. It seems like he's a bit distracted by things apart from the football.
No one should have hair. That's it. That's my comment. No one should have hair. You shouldn't be allowed If I can't have it,
Be
nobody
focusing on
else
the
can.
pitch.
Yeah,
He should
yeah.
shave it off, focus on the pitch. That's what I agree. He's got a left wing back role to be studying, Bob. I completely agree. But we're going to have Bob help us with the hosting duties for the rest of the show. And honestly, a pretty good person to have on next, you know, and probably Danny thought he was going to have it easy with just Brian and I.
And everybody.
Why is this guy on? Why is this guy on? Get him off. Get him fucking off. Get him off.
Bob or Brian, take away the hosting duties. You guys asked the question.
Oh no, I just want to say it's good to see my brother because he's been on holiday. It's good to see him back. Can't wait to see the pair of them on Thursday. So, Danny, what's been your talk on Perisic? Well, we're talking here. I've spoken to you for ages now, so properly based. 4-star and Perisic thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be good signings. I mean, you can't. Perisic is someone I've always wanted at Spurs. Every season I've always seen him when he after that Bayern Munich season where he won the Champions League and there was talk about him moving. I wanted him then. I've always wanted him. He's a top player, and even as someone I can't remember who said it earlier on. I think it was Daniel. Even at his age, at 33, he plays like a 25-year-old. I mean, he was like the best left wing back in the Serie A last season, pretty much. It was unbelievable. So it's great that it, like he was saying, is that it's a sign that they're gonna back Conte, because when have Tottenham ever gone and signed a 33-year-old, right? Never in a million years since Levy has run the club with Joe Lewis have they ever signed a 33-year-old, because I've always thought of buying the young players who've got a sell-on value. And yeah, it's giving a lot more fans a lot more hope that there's going to be more interesting players coming through the door, and I think there's going to be a lot of surprises as well who we're going to get. 4-star, it's a no-brainer, to be honest. It's Sam Johnson obviously was the name they all wanted at the beginning, but obviously he wanted to probably go and play first-team football, and we couldn't offer him first-team football, which is fine. It's fair enough. I think he might be going to Palace. There's talk about him going to Palace. So, look, Foster, he's 6'5". He's a big keeper. He's got experience in the Premier League. He's better than Galini, so I'm happy with that. And he's English as well. So, look, it's
Galini, though, was very liked in the dressing room, though. You know,
he was. He was. But to be honest with you, I mean, what's good is he doing good in the dressing room when he's not helping us on the pitch? I mean, I know he's good in the dressing room, but look, there's going to be other characters that are going to come into the club will be good in the dressing room. So I'm sure we need, if anything, we need more winners in the dressing room rather than people who are just there for fun. We need like more players like Perisic who have got the mentality of playing in the big games and stepping up when it matters the most, and that's the type of players we need. So yeah, look, it's good because they're free transfers. We haven't spent a penny of that money that we've got. We're supposedly selling Celso for 24 million euros or whatever it is. So that's more money on top of the pot already. There's still the Champions League money. So
are you happy to see the back of Gio?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I don't
know. Like some people have a soft spot for him. Like I'll be honest, I had a soft spot for Tanguy. I had a soft spot for Tanguy. We're all guilty. You know.
No, do you know what, Jack? You're right. I think everyone had the hope that he was going to come good, and they wanted him to come good because he in the first couple of months at Spurs, or first 6 months, at one point he was actually our best performing player, not in terms of goals or assists, in terms of his effect on the pitch and what he was doing. He was actually, after he got after that first injury, he actually has a period where he was actually I think it was the second half of the season, I think it was when Mourinho took over in November, or whenever he took over, it was that second half he was actually really good for us. But ever since then he's had injury after injury, and you can just see it, his heart's not in it, man. When he plays for Argentina, when he was playing for Argentina, you could see the passion and desire that he put on the pitch when he played. Yeah. And when he came to Tottenham, he just didn't give a shit. His concentration, he just didn't care. His concentration wasn't there. His effort wasn't there. His desire wasn't there. So, look, I'm glad to see the back of him. It's good. We're going to take a hit. I know it's bad. We're going to take a hit, but end of the day, we need to get him out of the club, get him off the wage bill, get that money stuck in from that transfer war chest that we're supposedly going to have. Yeah. So it's happy days at the moment, and it's good to be a Spurs fan because there's a lot of optimism and hope going into the season and the summer window. I think it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be, it's going to be very interesting.
Something's different is in the air. That's for sure.
There is the Perisic signing is the first sign of it. To be honest with you, I mean the Forster signing is kind of like the same old. It's like your wheeler dealer kind of deal. It's like you get the option because you don't have to spend the money. It's bringing in a player who's English, and it's a good deal. Look, it's a good deal. But the Perisic one for me is the one that kind of marks the Conte era. I think the first proper Conte era signing, because it's just someone we just would never sign before. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
it does show that Conte's getting back. I agree. Bob, do you feel like with these wheeler dealer signings that are happening that PERIŠIC is negotiating? What are your thoughts? Like the fact that we do have 150 million pounds to spend, and we are, going for two different sort of like free signings. It is kind of interesting. Like the fact that despite that big news, we have gone for the cheaper, maybe more level-headed sort of signings. You could say. I don't know.
We're not
splashing the cash yet. Yeah,
exactly. We're not spending it. I believe it's going to be more than 150. When you take into consideration TV money, Champions League money, player sales, naming rights, match day revenue, which you can pretty much guarantee is $1 million plus per game. I think it's going to be more than 150. 150, personally, I don't think it's going to be enough for 5 or 6 players. I think we'll need a lot more than that. But the fact we've brought in 2 players, Perisic makes sense because for me, I still don't think Sessegnon's all that. I really don't. He's improved towards the latter parts of the season, but because he was so shit previous to that, it wasn't really hard to be better than shit.
Interesting.
And I think it goes for Emerson as well. If you just look at the last 3 or 4 performances as a whole, it's not been all that. And if the rumours are true, I'm sure you've discussed it as well, and Bastoni is being brought in potentially, then having an experienced left back who doesn't really need to learn the game as much as still a Sessegnon, I'd be more comfortable with a Bastoni and a Perisic on the left side of the defence than a Bastoni and a Sessegnon, believe it or not, even though Sessegnon's had more Premier League
I don't know if Bastoni would play that far out wide. He's actually probably capable of it, but I don't know if he'd play that far out wide.
But on the left side of centre-back, so it would be
I see.
so it would be our whole left side of defence with Bastoni and Perisic.
Sorry, Bob, I'll let you finish. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and with regards to Forster, I think it makes sense. Galini has been a cheerleader. Let's be honest, and how much is he on? 40 grand or whatever.
But the fact we went for 2 cheerleader goalkeepers in a row, Joe Hart and then Galini.
Well, I'll be honest with you. You give Brian Daigle a pom-poms and nipple tussle, he'll do it 40 quid a week. He'll cheerlead 40 quid a week. So
there's 4 people in this chat. There's 4 people here.
Would he make that mistake against Chelsea?
There's 4 people here, and of course, it has to be. Listen, like I said before, if you don't get the piss taken out of you by Bob, it's like, have I done something wrong to upset Bob? Have I done something wrong if he's not making it? But you know what? I just want to say, can you bring up, Jack, Spurs 7's comment?
Yeah.
And I want to discuss, because I'd like to know, not that one, the one about yeah, this one to me, and I don't know what you guys think, it's kind of right, but it isn't, because if you look at it, under Jose Mourinho, Joe Hart came in, we didn't even know about it. Matt Doherty came in, we didn't even know about it. When Reguilon and Bale happened, that deal was done within 4 days, which normally would have taken 4 weeks. I think the difference with Conte is the right deals are getting done quickly, whereas under Jose,
deals that make sense.
Yeah, the deals were just coming in thick and fast, bang, 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 with no kind of planning or organisation or methodology behind what we're doing. But this time with Conte and PERIŠIC, we need another left wing back. We need something. It's getting addressed, and it's getting addressed quickly. So I agree with what you're saying with Conte, but I think it was badly done under Mourinho. So I think that was the first time that we actually spent early and quickly. But I think that was because it was Jose and said, "You're not giving me all the money. You get these in quick."
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, actually, to be fair. And what may be interesting is that maybe we have done business sort of early in the past, but like the dealings just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, like you were kind of saying, Brian, maybe that is the big difference. Bob, I know you probably have a good question, you know, maybe lined up for Danny. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you know, you know, I've been blabbering on plenty tonight, so.
Yeah, I mean,
or something back something to say just to annoy Danny. Doesn't even have to be.
Spit it out, Bob. Bloody hell.
You do make my. No, I'm not going to say it.
Well, no, I'll just make if you got it wrong, I'll do it for 30 quid.
30 quid, right. I'm going to ask all of you a question. If there's one decision that you had to pick that Conte made last season, just one, what would be for you the best decision he made? Be it within the squad, be it out of the team, be it something he said. What would that one thing that Conte did last season that you thought that made a difference? That made a huge difference.
Great question.
What would it be?
Probably, I think you could probably say there's two key points I think in the season, right? And it's hard to say which one was more key. So the first one is the after the NS Mora game, right, or whatever Mora team, whoever it was, right, when he basically said how bad this team was, and basically literally saying in front of everyone, in front of the press, that there's a lot of problems in this team, and they basically say we need to reshape this squad completely because they're just not good enough. And I think that was kind of a reality check. And I think I remember around that sort of time there was comments from Alistair Gold and other reporters saying that they've never seen anyone so direct with Daniel Levy before than Antonio Conte's been with him. And I think that was a kind of like a reality check for maybe Levy, because he's never had a manager, including Mourinho, who's ever stepped up to him in the way maybe Conte did, and kind of give it to him in his face and say, look, mate, this team is a load of shit. If you don't spend money in this team, you're going to go nowhere, and you're going to finish 8th, 9th, 10th in the next following seasons if you don't brighten up your ideas, because this team is pathetic. And I think that's pretty much kind of in a Danny way how he said it was in what he probably said to Daniel Levy, right? I mean, if he said it in my way, it'd be a lot more cursing, a lot more swearing. But yeah, I think that was another key one, and probably the second one, which I think maybe was even more so, was the outrage against Burnley, where it kind of like I think that was probably the biggest one, because it kind of made it look like the way he did it was very clever, right? He did it in a way where he was so angry and he was emotional, because the way he kind of outraged that moment was he was making it look like that's it, I'm gonna leave this club because I can't deal with this shit, right? It's not this is not the situation I want to be in. And he made it look like to everyone and maybe the board as well, that like, this is, you got to really back up your ideas now, because if you don't, I'm gone. It was kind of like a lot of fans had that feeling that he was going to resign, and the media were throwing it around. And I mean, I didn't think he was going to resign anyway. I just thought that it was a ploy to try and get more directly into Levy's face and put him against the wall and saying, look, you prick, like, you need to fucking spend some money, otherwise forget it. I'm out of here. Your team's going to fall apart. It's going to get even worse. Kane will leave and the whole team will fall apart. So I think that was probably the biggest moment for me of the season.
And we won 10 of the next 14 games after that.
Yes, exactly. And also, Bob, funny enough, the third biggest one was you fucking coming out of that coma, mate. Because as soon as you fucking came out of that coma, the whole luck for Tottenham changed. I swear, it's the weirdest coincidence, but the world and the way things work in mysterious ways. And as soon as you came out, everything changed as well. So
11 wins in 16, man.
Mate, I'm putting that on that as well, mate. I'm putting that on that.
But you know what? You mentioned the Mora game. The Mora game actually sent me into a coma. That was the last game I saw before I got ill. That was the last game I saw before I got ill.
Man,
that's a horrible way. That's a horrible last game of football.
And you came out as soon as we went on our run.
I've just got a piggyback before Jack goes with because I said in the wall about when you asked this, and I said the Burnley game. And you know what it was? That press conference. It weren't even a warning shot to the players. It was only aimed at one direction and one direction only. We all knew when Conte got appointed that this was the manager that was sink or swim for him. It was either going to come out and all things go in the way it looks like they are now, or he's dead and buried. And that press conference, he got gagged after it. Like Danny said, the media are all over it. We Are Tottenham TV and all of us started doing content. Is he leaving? What does this press conference mean? When Jose Mourinho plays the media, everyone goes, you see what he's done there? He's played the media. Antonio Conte, when that happened, he's throwing his toys out the pram. He's throwing his toys out the pram. He wasn't doing that. He was just doing what Prime Conte did, Prime Mourinho did. Yeah. Now people in the decline say, it's Mourinho throwing his toys out the pram. That was Conte saying, listen, look what I do, look what I bring, look what I've won. If you want to get there, you're going to need to listen to me and Perisic and get things going. I mean, the only other one I'll say on the pitch was the Leicester game. We used to do it, and I was there. Bob, you'll remember in the Pochettino era, we did it at Swansea when we're 2 goals down. Danny, you'll remember. There were times against Hull, away at Hull, where we won. That's when you're like, this is a Mauricio Pochettino's team whose fitness is showing through. And I think that Leicester game where we just didn't give up, and the fact that we picked the ball up in the 95th minute and run back thinking, right, we can win this, not in the 89th or 88th, the 95th. So on the pitch, I think it's that Leicester game. Off the pitch, and the most important one is without a doubt Burnley. So thank
Jack,
you, Burnley.
What probably had as well, after that Burnley game, we don't know what the conversation was, but if Conte did go up to Levy and said, look, we need to do something, this team's not good enough, etc., etc., Levy being Levy probably would have looked at him and said, look, I'm sorry, mate, but we'll see how it goes. This is your team now. You're this world-class manager. Let's see what you can do. And Conte probably went away from that thinking, all right, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Came back at the end of the season. Yeah. What are you saying now, mate? What are you saying now?
They probably had that discussion before the interview, Bob. He probably said, listen, I can't carry on. Before he spoke to the media and said, I can't fucking do this. You need to help me. And he went, well, what you said, and probably thought, press conference, here we go.
Yeah, and it helped. I'd say majority of the players, certainly the likes of Kane, Sonny, and Højbjerg and Lloris, probably looking at that press conference thinking, we can't lose this man. We can't lose this man.
Yeah,
we cannot. We need to back up our ideas. Because let's be honest, against Burnley and Borough and Wolves at home, we were shit. Yeah, it was essentially the same players, but we were shit, man. And they probably looked at that interview and thought, nah, we need to do something. Where he is too good a man to let go. Whatever happens in the board, we'll see that. And I think there's murmurs of it towards the end of the season in what Dyer was saying, Kane was saying, we need to back, we need to build. So I think that was an indirect conversation with the board that we're having. But during the season, they thought, right, it's on us now. We need to do something to keep this man. And fourth spot was important to Conte, was important to the fans, was important to the board. But I'll tell you what, it's probably important to the majority of those players as well.
When he probably did that moment, like you said, like saying, all right, Levy, I think what he might have been thinking to himself was, did he really want to go, to like the ways of Jose and Nuno and, have that squad that, of course, Levy has burdened him with? Does he want to get sacked by that squad, like the others? Maybe he kind of thought, like, I'm just going to stick it to Levy as well as stick it to Nuno and Jose. That's maybe my theory on it. Danny, I need your signing of the season, my man. Before we let you go, we still have KVP to go through, and Brian and we do have, I think, some dates or something tonight to get. But Danny, I'm gonna need your signing of the season because we're keeping track.
For me, it's probably Perisic, if I'm honest. I think Perisic is the biggest signing of our season because without him, I'll be honest, he's not a Don yet, in my opinion. I know Dave's favorite word is Don Perisic. He can call him that, no problem. But I'll tell you, for me, he's definitely been a key because without him, we wouldn't have got Conte, and without Conte, we wouldn't be where we are right now. Because there's no way any other manager we could have got would have done what Conte did with a group of players that we have right now. So it's got to be him. If you want to ask me a player, then in terms of who's made the biggest impact, like Michael was saying before, I was going to say this as well. It is so hard to say who's made the biggest impact because without Romero, Bentancur, and Kulusevski, we wouldn't have got top four. It's as simple as that. All three of them changed our season in so many different ways through the course of the season. Kulu, he completely changed the dynamics of the attack. He was one of the best ever January signings from any team in the Premier League. His goal contribution and goal and assist contribution is bar none, unreal. for a player who's that young, who's 21 years old. Best 21-year-old in the league, in my opinion. Better than Saka, better than all of them idiots. Yeah, he's unbelievable, and his sky's the limit for him. But I think I think in terms of who's probably more crucial, and I think so many people have said it, it's probably gonna be Bentancur because.
But it's kind of like it's a boring sort of answer, but I think it could be true. I think it could be true.
It is, Jack, because I think
answer.
Because I think if you look at it, right, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if we would have got top 4 without Kulusevski. We probably wouldn't have, right? Because he's been so key to so many of these assists and these goals that we've scored. And I don't think Lucas Moura would no way have put the same output that Kulusevski done, right? It's not in a million years. So we wouldn't have got it without him. But I think we'd probably be a lot further down the table if we didn't have Bentancur in the squad, because having Harry Winks for the last 4 months of the season or so, 3 months of the season, we would have got battered by a lot of teams.
I think we all probably wouldn't have been Spurs fans probably at the end of that.
Yeah, definitely. We would have finished like 7th or something, because the amount of times that guy just gets outrun, out-muscled, because he doesn't even... I've seen some things on Twitter today, like Harry Winks, and he works hard, and come off it, man. Fucking Harry Winks works hard. He's the most lightweight player I've ever seen play. He's literally Tom Carroll in disguise, this guy. I mean, he is fucking awful. He's so bad.
Bentancur, Bentancur the answer, Brian.
Yeah.
Bentancur is the answer. Unfortunately, too late for Bentancur to make a comeback.
Well, the good thing is I know Bob's here, and I know who Bob is going to say, so I'm very happy with what Bob will say.
Tom Carroll, do you remember the assist he made? The one assist he ever made? Do you remember?
Which one was it?
He gave Bale the ball against West Ham.
Oh, the West Ham one. Yeah. He rolled it to him. Bale was like, give it to me quickly. Yeah.
That's his assist.
Fucking, that's unbelievable.
Oh, you mean in the 3-2 away?
Yeah.
Tissues.
3-2 away.
I think it's the one that made you go through how many tissue boxes? This one is your signing of the season, I believe, Bob. So you might give.
Oh, I've got a fucking sponsor with Kleenex because of him. Yeah, Romero, man, Romero, or as I like to call him, Jizz Daddy.
Oh yeah.
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 I explained. Someone asked me, "Oh, why do you keep on going on about Romero?" And the best way I couldn't find a way to describe him. I said, "Bro, was there?" I go, "He's like a dog. He is like a dog. He sees the ball. He's either going to get the ball, or he's going to get the player who's getting the ball. One or the other. There's no bullshit. It goes back to the 80s and the 70s kind of proper British defender. And even when I was watching him at Atlanta and when he played inside, I never ever saw him shirk out of a tackle, second lose a tackle. He'd always come out with a ball or win the ball or foul the player, Richarlison-esque. So I posed the question 3 weeks ago. Have you seen any striker in the Premier League who got the better of Romero? No one has. Not a single striker this season got the better of Romero when he played. I can't think. Antonio was supposed to be his biggest. Antonio had to fucking go off. They stopped him.
He made Antonio not want to play football. He actually out-muscled Antonio, and Antonio
he's retired. He's retired after that. So
he loves physical contact as well, Antonio, and he made Antonio not want it anymore. You're absolutely right, Bob. Absolutely love that.
Guys in the chat, if you put your biases to one side,
the pitbull at the end of the fence.
But do you feel there's any player, any striker, not player, because he's been beaten in the air a couple of times, and I think was it Mahrez who hit his hand in the City game? But is there a striker who's had the better of Romero this season, guys?
No,
I don't think
interesting.
I
can't think of anyone.
I don't think anyone's won an individual battle. Brian, I know you have.
I've got time. I've got time. But I just want to say before I forget, I want to make another signing of the season, and it's not even Tottenham because Toffee20 said it when they just reminded me. I want to say signing of the season is Amazon and the Filth. Because
best
is going to be compelling viewing.
Oh, I can't.
Come the summer, so I think that is the best signing of the lot.
I can't wait. I think Bob's going to get his Kleenex out for that as well. He can't wait.
He definitely is. He definitely is.
Do you know? I wanted to say right that there's a lot of people talking about like signings and who we're going to sign. The one of the things with what I think, right, because I know we've signed Perisic, but I actually been saying this with Sean as well, that I think we're going to get Kostic. I think he's going to be one of the surprises.
I think we should.
I think we have to, because Perisic is such a versatile player, right? He can play in so many positions, and he could be the support for Son. He could be the support for Kulusevski. If we need to change, he can play right wing, left wing. I mean, that's where he was originally a player from. He played on the left wing. That's where he originally started. So he can play in all those positions, right wing, back. And I think, like some people said, Bob said it as well, Sessegnon, the thing is, as much as I really want him to progress, and he's done a lot better this season, he's too scared of his own body and pushing himself, which I think is stopping him playing to the best of his ability and what talent he can unlock, which talent he's got, which like Jose Mourinho, Pochettino, and Conte have all said this guy has got a lot of talent and he's got potential to be a top player. They've all said it. Now, three top managers don't all say the same thing about one player if they can't see it in him, because they've all said it. So there's got to be something in there which he's shown them that has made them say, look, this guy can be a top player, right? But
absolutely, Danny, I gotta be honest. We have another guest. I barely have enough time, for my thing, so we gotta keep going. I gotta be.
You bring Bob on, take my fucking time. I mean, what is fuck off, Bob.
But we're gonna bring on KPV. How we doing, Kyle?
It's me. It's KPV.
First of all, Adam Phillips, wash your mouth out with soap, mate. Of course, Kit Kats are chocolate. Of course, Kit Kats are chocolate biscuits. Kit Kats are biscuits, man. You go down biscuit hole, you see Kit Kats there. So, yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Arsenal number 9.
Bringing with the biscuits. Don't piss off Bob with his biscuits.
No, man. Big up.
Kyle, any opinion on the Kit Kat biscuit cookie? Any opinion?
Nah, I think it's fun. Let them wash their mouth with soap, man.
But Kyle, I mean, what's on your mind, my man? Perisic has come through. We signed the 8-foot-tall Fraser Forster. I mean, where's your head at? Is the summer going to be a good summer?
Yeah, it's going to be a good summer. Like, I'm excited for those two. Like, and just one thing before I say, Champions League is for Croatian players only. Look at Modric, 5 Champions League win. Modric, 5-time Champions League winner. That is only for Croatian players to win the Champions League. And Perisic won it 2 seasons ago with Bayern Munich. So let's game to win.
The Croatians are winners, Kyle. The Croatians are winners. We should get them into the team. Just pump a bunch of itches into the team, like I said.
Yeah, Brian. What would you rather win, Premier League or Champions League? I've done a poll on Twitter earlier.
Premier League all day long. I voted in it. Premier League all day, every single day.
No, come on, Brian, man. Champions League.
Good question, Kyle.
Champions League. Kyle's got the sickest question, right? Because I'll tell you what, my opinion, if we win the Champions League, we will always have something to say over the Gunners, those scummy fans, right? Because they can say, oh, but you've only won 1 Premier League. But we will say, well, you've never won a European Cup. The Champions League any day of the week, because they will never be able to talk shit to us again. They won't, Brian.
Games. It's 38 games.
It doesn't matter. You're in the Champions League, man. It's a Champions League.
Okay, so we're 2-2. We've got Bob and Jack to go.
I'd pick Champions League, I'm afraid. I'm with Danny on this because I want Champions League, Brian. Like,
okay, so that's why you two are at the bottom. Let's see why the top tier think.
Whoa, watch your mouth, mate.
Okay, BB. You tell him.
What's it, Brian, man? Like, I'd love to go to Champions League, but I wouldn't mind both. Like, I want both, mate. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind winning both. Those are the 2 big ones that Liverpool missed out on.
Jack?
Thank God and saying Paul Stewart's my player of the year. Love it. Absolutely love the bake-off. But Kyle, for me, I feel like we have unfinished business in the Champions League, my man.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to go for the Champions League. And I believe, Kyle, I know you probably know this more than I do, but first English club to win, the European competition.
Trophy. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. We were the first team to win it, a European
it's in
trophy.
our blood, Kyle. It's in our blood, my man. So I'm going to go for that.
Everyone can say what they like, but we're the first team to European trophy. Like, yeah, anyone says we weren't, then get off this channel. True. Said, oh, we were the first in the European trophy. We were, you weren't. Bugger off, mate. He blocked Expressions anyway on Twitter after Expressions wound him up about top 4 and big up Expressions. I know Brian follows him a lot.
He made him wash his mouth.
Yeah, like we have unfinished business in the Champions League. Like we actually qualified when we had Pierre Crouch. He's the one who got us there. Like, so yeah, but we have unfinished business. Like, since Mane's going, that gives us the chance to win it. Because he's apparently, someone said he hasn't said he wants to leave, but he wants a new challenge. And I hear Bayern Munich are after him. Now that Lewandowski is definitely leaving, so they want Mane for Lewandowski, like, then they can have him. But I just don't want Munich in our group. And I know Dave said he does. He's not scared, but I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't want
to play with
Munich.
Fire.
Let's see who's Bob choosing. Bob, Premier League or Champions League next season?
Yeah, I think you'll get different answers with me and you, Daigle, than what the kids are going to say. You know, they're obviously in the Champions League area. They're going to go for the Champions League. For me, it's FA Cup first, then the Premier League, then the Champions League. For me, the FA Cup is a personal thing. I had my best days out at Wembley, watching Spurs. One of my earliest memories watching Spurs in the FA Cup. Vivid, softly in the 87, but certainly 91 was as vivid as possible. I could tell you everything about Paul Stewart. That personally for me is number one. But the Premier League, 38 games, man. 38 games. You get luck throughout a cup run, of course you do. But you can't have that much luck over 38 games and turn around and say, I am the best. The Premier League's looked upon as the best league in the world. Yeah? That's common knowledge or common agreement. To finish atop of that, best team in the world.
Yeah.
Man City and Liverpool were looked upon as two of the best teams in the world. Champions League will say something else because Real Madrid had to win, 8 games to win it, 9 games to win it? Premier League, 38 games. You have to be the best of the best. You have to be consistent. You have to do it week in, week out. You have to do it days in, days out. So for me, Premier League over the Champions League any day. But personally, the FA Cup, man.
See, I want to add to my point. I think like the Premier League is definitely a harder competition to win, right? So I think the achievement's a greater achievement because obviously in the Champions League you can have luck, like you said, Bob. But the Premier League it's 38 games. You have to. You will get luck as well, and you will get unlucky. So but at the end of the day, if you win the Premier League, you've deserved to win it majority of the time. So yeah, I think in terms of achievement wise, the Premier League's probably a bigger achievement, but just for bragging rights, man, Champions League
and the glamour, I suppose. The glamour is more within the Champions League as well.
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, for me, it's just shutting those scummy fans up, mate. Yeah. It's just that they won't be able to say anything to Tottenham fans if we win the Champions. If we were to win the Champions League, they just won't because they've never won a European Cup. And you go and win the pinnacle of football, right? You'll shut them up for the rest of their lives. They won't be able to say. They'll say, "Oh, but you haven't won a Premier League." We won the Champions League, mate. Won the fucking Champions League. What could you say? You can't say shit.
Kyle, William Kelly is saying that Conte is more likely to win the Premier League.
If his oracles told him that, it's bullshit.
I agree. That's true. Believe the opposite. Kyle, is Conte more likely to win the Premier League, or is he more likely to win a Champions League with Spurs?
Well, I don't know really. I'd rather say Champions League because I know he won it as a player at Juventus years ago. Yeah. But, I'd probably say Champions League because I know he's not won it as a manager, only won it as a player. But this could be his first chance as a manager to win it. So we'd say Champions League. But like I said, I wouldn't mind both because I know some fans will want both. But look at Man United, they won a treble in '99. They won FA Cup first, Premier League, then Champions League. But I just say Champions League for me. Then, as Danny said, those Phil fans cannot say shit at us anymore. All you want is one league, but we won Champions League, mate. You ain't won a European Cup for decades now. So do one. We gave you a home. We gave you
I
home
love it,
to make you
KVP.
feel better. But we were North London. You're from South London. So fuck off back to Woolwich. North London is ours, mate. You think you will North
I love
London?
you, Carl.
Yes, mate.
I love you, Kyle.
love you,
Yeah,
Kyle.
William
man.
Kelly, that's the energy William Kelly
Yeah,
needed
man.
with that
And
answer. There you are.
look, yeah, just a few things. What was that all about on Saturday? French police using tear gas all over Liverpool fans who didn't do nothing wrong, and they do it. Seriously.
Yeah.
Doing it to us
Shocking.
British people who ain't done nothing wrong. What was that all about?
Also
15
UEFA
minutes.
as well, Kyle. Like UEFA,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of crazy. You kind of think they need to get their stuff together. You know, they need
Yeah,
to. It's not
like-
acceptable. I agree.
Yeah, and I know Liverpool fans are not happy with this because they didn't do nothing wrong. And Andy Robertson from Liverpool said he gave his mate a ticket, and the people were saying it was fake. But I could tell you for sure it wasn't fake. It was from Liverpool Football Club by Andy Robertson, and he's got a point. But
Yeah.
I want to big up Thibaut Courtois, man of the match. I watched it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he was man of the match, and people need to show some respect for him because he said he saw a lot of tweets before the final that he was going to get, I don't know what, buggered or something, but he proved that was wrong, and he's now won it because he got to the final of Atletico Madrid 8 years ago and he lost, and now he's won it with Real Madrid, a few La Ligas. So, but for me,
Spot on.
I think he's not the best in the world, but for me, he's up there, and he's the best in the Spanish league. So, Colin Ancelotti said he's the best keeper in the world. So, good luck with
And
that.
he's also, you know, remember that game as well, Kyle, where he cooled down his tee, you know, against us. You know, I think it was when it went like 3-3 or something, or some game where, you know, everybody was going crazy and he was like blowing on his tee or something like that. He's the coolest
Yeah.
man in the building. He's the coolest
Yeah.
cat in the building.
Yeah, and yeah, so but I'd say Champions League for me all day long. Like I just
Yeah.
want to shut the Gunners up, and then they can't say shit to us. Like I know Brian wants the Premier League, but like I said, I wouldn't mind both. But FA Cup first, then
Wouldn't mind.
Champions
Carl,
League.
yeah, you have to remember, I'm not saying I don't want the Champions League, because believe me, I'll take it. I would take both. I would take any order, but if I had to choose my favourite one to win, yes, if we won the Champions League, we smashed the Gooners and we've got all that. Listen, the Gunners haven't won the Premier. The Filth, sorry, I'll wash my mouth out. The Filth haven't won it since 2004. That's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Who gives them monkeys? Yeah, we got a gold one. It's invincible. Well fucking done. What? It's now. Football has evolved. Football is harder now. There's more money in football now. It's harder to win it, especially when Arsenal were doing it. It was Arsenal, Man United. For us now, it's Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea that we have to overcome. So for me, the Premier League is harder to win now than when they did. When there weren't no billionaires.
It's
that were
definitely
doing
harder
everything.
to win, Brian. Right? It's 100% it's harder to win. But it's just, could you imagine if Tottenham won wins the Champions League before like Paris Saint-Germain or Man City, the teams that spent like over £1 billion on players? And
it's like a very elusive trophy for other people.
It's an elusive trophy. It's a trophy that I think it's the most prestigious trophy any footballer can win. I think if you ask any footballer other than the World Cup, some might debate what they would rather win, but most players would probably say. I mean, I've seen Real Madrid players recently say they would rather win the Champions League than the World Cup, which is insane, right? But I think as a footballer, I think they probably would love to win a World Cup more than anything. But in terms of club football, I think the Champions League is the one that everyone wants to
Danny,
win.
you've got to remember with Real Madrid, when it comes to Champions League, they win the league a hell of a lot more often than we come to it.
They eat it for breakfast. They eat it for breakfast by the looks of it.
Yeah, they do. I mean, but look, Champions League is just for me. If I was a footballer, that's the one I would want to win. That for me.
It's a very elusive trophy. It is a good shot. I think I kind of agree with Bob though. I agree with Bob though, where it is like I think the Premier League is a lot harder to win, so there's a lot of merit with that. But there is a bit of swagger, attached to the Champions League that you can't really deny. But Kyle, last question of the evening, my man. I do appreciate your patience, tonight. What was your signing of the season, my man?
Romero, it has to be.
Always,
he's the winner.
Ding, ding, ding. Romero, easy. Like as Bob said, have you seen any striker get the better of him? No, no one hasn't. None of the strikers have got the better of this guy. He can take him out. Look what he did to Soyuncu. Leicester players were crying for if that was a foul, but do one. You got done over twice by him. You lost. Look at that. Yeah, when Bergwijn came on at Leicester in February or January, I don't know, whatever it was, we destroyed them. They're a win. And I will
Romero
happily...
smash. Romero smash. That's all he knows, Kyle. That's all he knows is just smash.
I'll happily... Yeah, Romero for me. Like, I wonder what everyone's going to ask next and who's going to be my sign of the season next season, but you will know the answer to that after we win. But Romero for me, all day long. Christian Romero.
Love that, Kyle.
Signing for me. So, it's got to be Romero. And
good answer, my man. Any final words for the Harris Army before we let you go, Kyle?
Yep, everyone smash that like, hit the subscribe button to the Harris Army, and big up Dave. I know he's probably watching the highlights of the North London derby of us beating the filth, and Rob Holding doing this to Sonny, disrespectful, mate.
Yeah,
he deserves to get a red card. Kane loves the North London derby, and I just hope we win the league at their ground next season. Then they can say, "Oh, we won the league at the Lane." Do one. It's our turn. You've not won it.
Your do one is like Bob's. Yeah, that is going to become your slogan, brother.
That's your catchphrase.
It sounds so good.
Yeah,
do one.
Become that. Yeah, and roll on this. Yeah, roll on the summer. Bring those two signings in, and then finally, Daniel Levy and I've been listening to what we've been wanting to say all season. Back Conte, and I know Brian's not going to do the one he normally does, so I'm going to do. And as always, back Conte. Come on, you Spurs.
See you next week when I'm in England, Cole.
See you, mate.
See you, brother.
Catch you, Kyle. Appreciate you coming on.
Big up, Kyle, man.
Big up, do one. Do one.
Do one, Kyle.
I'll see you next week.
Catch you, brother. Love you, Kyle.
KPV,
everybody. Sorry, say that again, Brian.
Carl should have said piss off, Bob, because Carl
do one, Bob. Do one, Bob. Big up Kyle, though. Everybody, big Kyle, all the love he deserves in the chat. Great person to finish on. We do have two very important people that we have to plug, and I do think we're going to start with one that I do know a lot of people should definitely head on over and hit that like button for right away. Bob, we have a special stream of yours tomorrow, my man. I figured we'd start with yours.
Yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning, starting tomorrow, and doing 24-hour stream. Daigle rang me up earlier and asking me what's on the agenda, and fuck all, I'm going to wing it. I'm just going to play it as is. I've got a couple of nurses coming on. From Princess Alexandra Hospital. Hopefully the trustee from Princess Alexandra Hospital. Hopefully a couple of special guests. And then the stream's going to be put out to all the YouTube community and to come on whenever they want to feel like, keep me some company. But yeah, I'll be going from 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow till 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, non-stop, apart from when I need a wee and a poo.
And I can't believe I said 9 o'clock, even though it clearly says 10 o'clock on the fucking thing.
Yeah, I'll send you a message. I go 10 a.m. Don't listen to Daigle.
That's why I changed it.
Here's your second chance, Brian. I said you get another chance to plug it, so let's plug it a second time. Maybe we'll.
Let's watch Superman stream from 10 a.m. Breaking news. 10 a.m. I will be getting up. I've put my alarm back to 10 to 5 rather than 10 to 4. So yeah, it's going to be a great show. I'm going to try and Bob knows I'm going to be with him pretty much throughout the day, apart from when Alana finishes work and then when she goes to bed. So yeah, I'll be there. I'm thinking sleep deprivation. So I can't even say it now. Sleep deprivation and craziness and the humour of Bob, I'm enjoy this quite a bit. And maybe I'll get my revenge when you have people from the hospital on. Who knows? You have to wait and see.
Everybody,
are you going to the hospital, Bob?
No, I'm going. So I'm obviously raising money. So I've already sorted out, and that's the reason why I'm doing it tomorrow, because I want to go there next Monday, because quite a few of the people who I want to give the check over to are going to be there. So I'll be doing a live stream when I hand over the check, hand over goodies. There will be someone else who's donating something, which I'll explain tomorrow. I just see the way I see it. It's not about the money. It's not about me doing the stream. But if I manage to do something that when I go in and I see some of the nurses and I bring a smile to their faces, oh yeah, then it just it's just a part of me that feels like I'm saying thank you. And if I can't do my bit to say thank you to the people who saved my life twice, then what's the point? There's only so much I can do. I'm fortunate that I'm a streamer. I've got a lovely community with you guys, people in the chat. I know they'll support me. You guys have always supported me. So, it's just doing something to give back to them. And like I say, if I manage to bring a bit of joy to the doctors, the nurses, be it Timmy, Tina, Chris, Sophie, Joe, Karen, and any of them. And I know they're watching. They've been following me on stream tonight. And if I manage to bring anything that gives them a bit of happiness, even if it is temporary, then it feels like I've done a little bit to say thank you. And I've said before, I owe my life. So I want to do my bit, man. And if it's just 24 hours out of my life, man, and the life wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, beautifully put, Bob. And so everybody, show him the support that he deserves tomorrow.
What are you laughing at, Brian?
You know what?
He just said the most moving speech, and you're sitting there. I know.
I think maybe KTV sent him a do one. I'm not sure. Maybe send him a do one. But everybody, show Bob the support he deserves. I want 100 likes by tomorrow. There's been well over 200 in the house the whole stream. We've had 300 at most stages. So I do want 100 likes in that stream before it even starts. Everybody, show him the support that he deserves. But Bob Spur TV, everybody, there you go. You'll be catching him all day. I don't even think we're going live at all tomorrow, so no excuses, everybody. So do show him the support again that he deserves. Brian Daigle, just gonna put Tottenham on tour in here. I think you said you have some big stuff planned for the summer, but not even for that reason, just because you put in a huge shift today, and I really do appreciate you sticking it out with me the whole show, my man.
Listen, my pleasure. I mean, we've got a lot coming up. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be with Danny and Bob as of Thursday. Danny and I have got a lot of plans to do some content together whilst I'm over there. I will be at We Are Tottenham TV studios a hell of a lot whilst Ben is getting ready for his wedding and then on his honeymoon. But you're going to have more.
You're going to the honeymoon?
No, I said I'd be in the studios. Ben is.
I thought you said I'm going to be in the studio and then Ben and with Ben when he goes.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to Ashley.
Ashley going to go into the studio.
I'll see what Ashley says. Yeah. I mean, I could try. But yeah, no, we're going to have more Ask Us Anything. We're going to have more straight out of Conte if there's any press conferences for signings. There's going to be more around the clock rules. There's going to be more Daigle's Digest. There's a couple of things Danny and I are working on that we're hoping to put out. So Tottenham on Tour will be broadcasting a hell of a lot during the summer. So keep your eyes out and thank you for all the support. We're growing the channel again, or the channel is growing again. We went stagnant for a bit, but it's thanks to all your support and everything that we're doing these things. You're the people in the chat and the community is the main reason we're doing it. And we just love doing it ourselves. So yeah, lots to come up with. Danny, you got anything to add?
No, yeah. I mean, Brian said he was going to do a live striptease, but I don't know if we're going to be doing that. Mate, telling me about dwarves and things, but I was like, Brian, man, you got to stop this now.
You know what? I thought I could fucking trust and have faith and confidence in someone from my own channel would have my back.
I mean,
someone that's going to.
I think you had everybody on striptease, but it got better with dwarves.
Danny is coming to the wedding with me, so we do have to go and pick him out an evening gown and everything. because
It's
unfortunately my wife
2022,
has to stay in
Brian. It's
Canada, so
2022.
we have to buy him an evening gown, and we're going to do his makeup, and he's got the hair already. So yeah, we'll have pictures of Danny in an evening ballroom gown on the day of the wedding. So look forward to that.
Listen,
One of the
everyone
best
in the
plugs I've
comment.
heard.
I just want to say something seriously. Going off topic. It's 2022. People can like whoever they like. And if Brian likes people going up on him, then so be it. So
yeah, that's the most important thing you should take
I
from this. Out of
swear
everything
to
that's
God,
been
Rob,
said, that's what needs to be rammed home, I would say, tonight. Oh, yeah. But
what time are the doctors coming on tomorrow?
but everybody, we're going to wrap it up there. I got a thing to get to. Really appreciate everybody that's tuned in so far. I think we've had, again, well over 200 the whole time. Really smash those likes, everybody. Really appreciate everybody who's tuned in. Close to 4 hours. I think we went through like 11 or 12 different guests, which is just insane. Not nearly as many last time, but I would say, it was a big, long one. So this one was good to power through with Daigle. Everybody, not sure if we're live tomorrow, but we probably will be live Wednesday with something. Everybody, hit that like button on your way out, and we will be seeing you. Come on, you Spurs.
Hashtag Bob's a bastard.
Big up the NHS.
Do one, Bob.
The NHS.
Do
Everybody, check out Bob's Spurs stream again
Bob's a
tomorrow
bastard.
morning. Happening tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Be there. But everybody, come on, you Spurs, and Conte we trust.
In Conte we trust.
Everywhere we go.